the roofing company in the River region. We've been in the roofing business since 2005. We don't have to buy our leads, and we don't have to knock on doors when the storms come around. We have thousands of satisfied customers throughout Central Alabama. So call us at 334-356-8635. That's 334-356-8635.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome into the program here. Overcast day in August out of Montgomery, Alabama, but we like it that way. It's much cooler and the rain ain't too bad. Inflation clocks in lower than expected again in July. Trump extends the China tariff deadline by another 90 days. Sometimes I think Trump's tariff strategy is a lot like Calvin Ball from Calvin and Hobbes. And there's much more to get to, of course, more reaction to Trump's takeover of policing there in Washington, D.C. Joining us now, as he does every Tuesday, we have the one, the only Judge Andrew Napolitano. Judge, how you doing today, sir?
Pleasure, Joey. Thank you. I have a little frog in my throat, but I feel better than I sound.
Very good. Now, I want to begin with this takeover announced yesterday by the president. Number one, is it legal? Is it necessary? But it seems like it's never been done before in this way by a president. What's your take on it?
Would you mind if I modified the question to, is it legal and is it constitutional?
Fair.
It is legal because Congress authorized it. It's unconstitutional because the president, among his authorities, his delegated powers in the Constitution, is not becoming a police commissioner. And of course, he's now threatening to do this to other cities. I don't think there'll be a judicial interference with it here. The statute has never been challenged. The statute is a 1973 Home Rule statute that created the government as we know it today. There was a rudimentary government before that. But now it's a full-fledged government with a mayor and city council and board of education and the things that you would expect in a city of 1 million people. In that statute, it says if the president determines that there's an emergency, he can take over the police department for 48 hours. Then he can, by giving notice to Congress, extend it for 30 days. Then he needs the consent of both houses of Congress. He's not likely to get that because it would be subject to the 60-vote filibuster rule in the Senate. So I don't know where this is going to go after 33 days. The president, of course, loves this stuff and is making noises, as I said a few minutes ago, like that he'd like to do it in other cities. With respect to other cities, there would be no legal basis whatsoever for it. So in anywhere other than the District of Columbia, it would be both unconstitutional and illegal. According to the Constitution, the District of Columbia is owned by the Congress, not the president, the Congress. The Congress decided to give them home rule. Then the Constitution was amended to allow them to vote for president and allow their popular votes to count and their electoral votes to count. They argue that they are the functional equivalent of a state. Of course, they're not a state because they have not been admitted to the Union as a state. And there is still this statute that allows the president to move in. Is it necessary? I don't know. I'm sure there's many different ways to look at this. The president's going to say, this young kid that worked for me got the crap beat out of him by two 15-year-olds, and it turned my stomach, and I'm going to do something about it. People that run the city say we have less crime here than most cities in the United States our size and less crime here than we've ever had. And the president should be a little patient. I don't know where this is going to go.
Now, what do you make of this idea of DC statehood? It sounds like they do have some powers there, but that's an odd state to have the entire country's capital within your state. That's a very weird setup.
Well, it's not going to happen while you have Republicans running Congress and a Republican in the White House, that's for sure, because it would be a guarantee of 1 or 2 Democrats in the House and 2 Democrats in the Senate. I mean, this is as crazy as, and Trump suggested this, making Puerto Rico or Greenland or Canada states. The same thing would happen, although the numbers in the House would be much larger and they'd be all Democrats.
Yeah, instead of like the arguments of we'll admit a free state and a slave state at the same time, we'll admit a Republican and a Democrat state at the same time. And I just don't see that very functional unless there's some crazy shift in government.
Look, with respect to the National Guard, the DC National Guard is the only one that reports directly to the president because there is no governor. That doesn't mean that he can use them for law enforcement because he's still constrained if he's going to obey the laws, and he took an oath to do so. He's still constrained by an 1876 law, the one that ended the military occupation in the South, otherwise known as Reconstruction, that prohibits the use of the military for ordinary law enforcement. I don't know what the National Guard is doing. If they're directing traffic, writing tickets, arresting bank robbers, doing wellness checks, doing things that cops do in big cities, it's a violation of that statute. If they're just standing by and protecting federal assets, all of which in DC have their own protective services, it's superfluous, but it's not unconstitutional.
Now, shifting gears, yesterday I had the opportunity to interview a candidate for the Attorney General here, the next Attorney General of Alabama, and Catherine Robertson. She's been, and it still is, chief counsel for the current Attorney General. So be kind of continuation. Very much emphasizes the sovereign state of Alabama, which I think you would like and I like very much. But we in part got into this question of the Voting Rights Act because Alabama is so a big part of it. And actually, a lot of the jurisprudence originates in Alabama, I learned as I was looking into this. My sense is on this recent Alan Milligan dissent by Justice Thomas is that he's spot on. And it's very similar to stuff you often say that statutorily, this might be the correct interpretation. This is legal of the Congress has done, but it doesn't pass muster in actually being constitutional. In your mind, do you think it would be unconstitutional to say that you must have a proportional representation of particular races based on the population? Does that start running into violations of the 14th Amendment when you start creating?
Yeah. Absolutely. Not even a close call. I'm 100% with Justice Thomas. He may, he may have a majority on the court soon or one day, depending on how long he's there. You can gerrymander for other reasons that don't offend the Constitution.
Right.
But race profoundly offends the Constitution. The whole purpose of the 14th Amendment, or one of the purposes of the 14th Amendment, was to remove race from the armament of the states when doing anything. I once questioned Justice Scalia about this. I said, can you think of any circumstances in which the state could use race? And he said, yes, but it's an extreme circumstance. A race riot in a prison. The state could separate prisoners by race in order to keep them alive, keep them from killing each other. But short of something as extreme and unique as that, the government, the state governments, and the federal government as well, cannot use race.
And as I don't often do it, I literally sat and read the 90-something pages of the Milligan case. And
you've read more of it than I have. I mean, I'm generally familiar with it, but who the hell could read the whole thing? It's as boring as can be. I
think I described it as a Kafka novel without the existential intrigue. It was a little all over the place. But I've reading it, one impression, and it's more a general question about the courts. It just seems the courts are often dragged into politics. If not, sometimes they become very political, the judges themselves. But say the judges are trying to be as like on the up and up as possible. It seems a lot of the laws they're handed to, especially by the Congress, they're caught in this bramble patch of just politics and power plays and compromises.
That's because Congress is gutless and the courts have lifetime tenure. And Congress often intentionally throws the tough questions to the court. It allows them to say to the base back home, we did the right thing. Those black robe guys and gals that don't have to confront the voters, they're the ones that mess this up. And the court can't even respond to that.
Yeah, and it's the same thing, obviously, as we covered in foreign policy. And real quick, moving to that, do you think this a meeting between Trump and Putin in Alaska is kind of a show for folks, or maybe something comes of this? What's your sense of this upcoming meeting?
Well, I hope something comes of it, and I don't think it will be the cessation of hostilities in Ukraine, because Trump can't agree to this. Trump's not the president of Ukraine. What Putin wants is the Crimea and the 4 oblasts that have been Russian territory since 1730 to be returned to Russia, and he wants a guarantee of no NATO. I don't think Trump's in a position to produce either of those. On the other hand, I was talking to some people in Moscow just yesterday on air, and they're very, very hopeful for a big reset. They're hopeful for an economic reset whereby the sanctions are gone. You can fly from New York and Los Angeles to Moscow. The Russians can use American banks, American credit cards, work there. The cultural and academic exchanges will return. I think that Trump wants that as well, and he may very well get that. It's not going to please Zelensky, and it's going to keep the war going, but it will be a big deal if they produce an economic reset. Now, these meetings of heads of state, everything is agreed on ahead of time, and the heads of state just ratify it, shake hands, pat each other on the back, and take credit for it. That's not the case now. As far as we know, nothing has been agreed upon ahead of time.
Well, that means anything really could happen.
Yes, it does mean anything could happen. Absolutely. I mean, who's calling the shots for the U.S.? The real estate developer from New York that does the negotiations, or the Senate-confirmed Secretary of State?
Yeah, it sounds more like Trump is always the closer, is my sense of on the trade negotiations. Watching a little of these, it looks like Wickoff and Rubio go do things, or Scott Bessent and Howard Lutnick go do things, and then Trump is brought in sort of as the heavy. Seems to make a lot of demands at the last second. It seems to be his style.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean, I don't know anybody that wishes them ill. I certainly wish them well. I mean, I'm not crazy about much of the president's presidency, and I'm not crazy about any of his foreign policy. He could stop the Ukraine war in a month just by saying to Zelensky, that's it. We're not giving you any more weapons. But he listens to his golfing partner too much, that character from South Carolina.
Lindsey Graham, perfectly wretched.
Have you ever had Senator Graham on?
Oh, no, I haven't. I would have to do my impersonation of him right to his face. Oh, my goodness. He is, I'd say the line from Richard III comes up. He could add colors to the chameleon, that guy.
Yeah. He's the new John McCain. He never met a war he didn't want somebody else to fight.
Though it sounds like you've interacted with him some. I saw, of all people, Tucker Carlson, after damning him a bit, said he's actually one of the most charming people you'll ever meet in person.
Well, he's from the South. All you guys are charming. And I agree with Tucker Carlson. I had a lot of interaction with Senator Graham when he was Congressman Graham. And the Clinton, this is a long time ago, and the Clinton impeachment was going on. Senator Graham, or Congressman Graham, and Congressman Joe Scarborough were at Fox all the time. And invariably that involved me. So Congressman, I imagine he's the same today, Graham, is now Senator Graham's very, very charming.
Yeah, and one of my favorite little...
But he's a lunatic.
Right, exactly. A charming lunatic. And, one of my favorite audio drops I play in Radio Land is from that period.
It's not just about sex.
And it's amazing the things we were arguing about in the late 90s.
Ask Coach, soon-to-be Governor Tuberville, what he thinks of Senator Graham. You better ask him off air if you want a few expletives.
Well, I'll ask him, and I don't need to ask Senator Britt. I think she's besties with Lindsey. So, anyway, interesting small world as big as our country is and our politics is. I always appreciate your time, Judge. If folks want to check out what you're doing on your show, Judging Freedom, but you're also, I believe, doing regular work there at Newsmax, right?
Oh, I'm on Newsmax now. I mean, I'm coming to you from my office at Newsmax. This is a fake background. That is the virtual background of my library in my home in New Jersey. I'm on 3 or 4 times a day. I do not discuss foreign policy here. I home for obvious reasons. I only discuss legal issues. But my podcast is continues to take off, and let's just say that all the heavy hitters in Moscow want me on their shows. Now I'm on Moscow television, I would say 2 or 3 times a week.
Well, I wish you a well-earned success. I remember when things were changing, and to see the growth of the show is awesome. Really is.
And in part because of the exposure you continue to give me to the great people of Alabama. Thank you, my dear friend.
Thank you, Judge. God bless you.
Jeff lately? Dice.
I haven't seen him in person. I talked to him about 2 weeks ago. I should talk to him this week.
Yeah, he's a good guy. I miss the old days terribly. Mises hasn't been the same, but I wish them well.
Yes, sir. Well, I appreciate it, Judge. I'll tell Jeff you said I.
Thank you. All the best.
God bless. Again, folks, that is Judge Andrew Napolitano. Always great having him on the program. In the studio with me, Byron Sheehy. How you doing today?
Doing good, Joey. How are you, man?
I'm good.
It's always a good day when you can make fun of Senator Graham.
Oh, Lindsey?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I know you enjoy it.
Oh, my goodness. And he's right. Somehow Lindsey's always been charming. He's become golf buddies there with Trump. And but I think his foreign policy is over the top.
Has there been a politician that's evolved more on a consistent basis than Lindsey Graham? Almost in real time?
No, and done it in a way like another part of that line from Shakespeare, change colors of the chameleon. I think another line is change shapes with Proteus for advantage. Like he is the perfect example of the slimy politician. And he isn't quite Shakespearean because I don't think he's like Iago actually stabbing people himself. But he calls for a lot of war.
I don't know.
He's kind of, that's my take. Lindsey Graham looks like a Shakespearean character, like something old Bill Shakespeare wrote up. And that's not necessarily a compliment. It's just a description of the guy.
Stabbing. Some would say he may. I don't know.
Yeah, he might. He might. Oh, man. What do you make of this upcoming visit between Trump and Putin? Zelensky warns he will not allow Russia to deceive ahead of the Trump-Putin
I'm
meeting.
wondering if they even allow him at the big kids' table.
I've heard both ways.
Yeah, I want to see how this unfolds. I mean, your assessment of this thing's wide open. It seems like if the real players, us and Russia, were at the table, we could be more constructive than trying to appease Zelensky. But that's my take.
No, I think. Well, we'll just have to wait, especially on the foreign policy stuff. We just got to wait. And even you just heard the judge there. He's not a huge fan of, say, Trump's second presidency here. But if they actually get a massive peace deal that's an economic normalization, it is a huge piece of the puzzle. As much as there are going to be folks that scream, oh, we knew it all along that he's a Putin lover. It's like, okay. No, this would be a massive piece to win on the chessboard, especially in relation to China. Now, also in relation to global trade networks. Like it makes so much sense. And then also it would allow for very swift rebuilding of Ukraine. Don't forget they made this huge economic deal for mineral rights and much more. So you could have the United States essentially playing a huge role there in a buffer zone between Europe and Russia. And it could be to everybody's economic benefit, not just ours.
It's interesting to think about the war dogs and how they always clamor for war because, the machine all that sort of stuff. And then knowing that Trump has the long game in mind, knowing that peace is better for economic, stability than war.
Yeah.
So you got two dichotomies there. It's going to be interesting to watch and see who actually wins out on this.
And then we were talking off air about Trump taking over DC's policing power. It's interesting. I really appreciated that breakdown from the judge, because I guess it is legal. Is it necessarily constitutional? That's a different question. Well, because I think the statute is correctly being applied as written, but is that statute constitutional is another question. Probably won't even be challenged, though. Then you get into this idea that how long can he do this? Is it only a month? So you have control of the policing power. This is why Trump sent that notification to Congress that just came out, so he can have that for about a month. And then you have the National Guard that can't police, but they can essentially supplement police. Just having a presence there, it's not like even riot control. It's somewhat similar, though, to what they did in L.A. Or what they've done on the border and whatnot. Like, they're not there on the border arresting illegal crossers. They're more there supplementing Border Patrol. And so I think that's what you're going to see in D.C. And you might be shocked at how quick they pick a bunch of people up. I think they arrested dozens of people just last night that are essentially known, have outstanding warrants, just go get them. Like,
right.
Why all this?
Cloak and dagger.
Yeah.
Well, the legal versus the constitutional part, if it's not brought before the court and deemed unconstitutional, then I think it has to be treated as just
it will be treated as
for 33 days. And so long as he doesn't, violate the 33-day benchmark, then I don't think we're going to see the constitutionality of this called into question from the courts specifically.
Well, and you have a lot of interesting clips. There was another name Judge Knapp just mentioned there, Joe Scarborough, back when he was the Republican from the Panhandle of Florida,
Pensacola.
Yeah, where Matt Gaetz used to represent.
Oh yeah.
Well, Joe Scarborough,
man, talk about two winners.
I know, man. I like Matt Gaetz, but I don't know what's going on with Joe Scarborough. And those folks too, they ain't that different than us.
Yeah, no,
they're a little different, but they ain't that different.
They're a lot different. I'm not going to let you lump me in with Joe and
oh, come
Gaetz.
on,
man. Nope.
I don't mean them in particular. I mean the fine folks that live there in the redneck area.
Oh, no. They are as red, if not more red, than the good folks in Southeast Alabama and the Wiregrass.
Okay, and there you go.
Northwest Panhandle, Florida Panhandle rednecks are some of the finest rednecks on earth, man.
Now, Scarborough this morning, he read a text. The White House themselves shared this clip of Scarborough. Let's listen in. This is apparently from Scarborough's very liberal friend in D.C.
I want to read you a text from someone who I won't say their name, but they're we'll just say that they're very liberal. And he says, this may sound controversial, but I'm not totally opposed to Trump's National Guard move in D.C. I know he's doing it for politics, but crime remains rampant. I've had too many friends carjacked, shot at. None of us will walk more than 3 blocks after 8 p.m. 13-year-olds are committing many of these crimes. Quite a change from a decade ago when things were much calmer. Well, that actually sounds like the D.C. that I lived in when I lived a block behind the Supreme Court. And, every 3 days, one of my neighbors was getting held up at gunpoint. I mean, there has been a crime problem in D.C.
Wow, that's Morning Joe and Scarborough.
Yeah. I love how he classified it, my liberal friend. Does he have any conservative friends still?
Maybe a few. I don't know how conservative they are, though. Right. But a judge has now ordered the teens that really kicked this off, charged in the Doge staffer attack, charged for attacking Big Balls himself. They've been ordered to remain in custody, even though they are youths.
I'd be interested because he's got a pretty big social media presence, from what I understand. I'd be interested to know, if those guys were actually following him and made him a target specifically.
No, I think it was this guy saw a woman being accosted by this group and stepped in. Yeah. Oh, straight up, he lived up to his name. A name can be destiny, and that took big balls. That took true courage. Good knowing he probably, and he did get his tail whooped. Man, he looked beat up in concussion. I hope he's all right in the long run.
I don't care about the beating he took. He was a man for stepping up for that woman.
So as you heard Judge Knapp say that you need to send notification to Congress. Well, Trump has sent that letter to Congress asking to extend that federal control over police. It's about his intent to federalize the DC police to reduce crime in Washington. The move, which comes hours after Trump signed the executive order, allows this emergency declaration to remain in effect for 30 days. In the one-page letter sent to top leaders on the House Oversight Committee and a Senate Homeland Security Subcommittee with jurisdiction over Washington, D.C., Trump declared that D.C. is facing a crisis of violent crime and that as president, he has the obligation to ensure the safety and security of those living and working in the nation's capital. Quote, I have determined that special conditions of an emergency nature exist that require the use of the Metropolitan Police Department of the District of Columbia for federal purposes, including maintaining law and order. The mayor will provide to me the services of the Metropolitan Police Force for federal purposes until I have determined, in consultation with the Attorney General, that the emergency has ended.
You know, if following the judge's layout on this, if they get past, 32 days and there's a need for it to continue, it'd be interesting to see what would happen putting it up in the Senate, knowing that there's about 8 or 9 votes that would be kind of squishy. And if 28 is going to be a law and order type of election, these purple state senators voting against this, they may face some headwinds on something like this. There may be some 4D chess going on here.
Yeah, it's you have Fetterman in the bag. He'd probably vote for something like this. Yeah, you're right. How many folks on the bubble now? You need a few. You need several.
You need about 8 or 9.
Yeah. To get it through. Yeah, maybe it is this is a good fight to pick.
Yeah, get it.
Even if you lose, it's good politics.
Yeah, good optics.
Well, we got to hit a quick break here. Plenty more to get to. And of course, I've named this show, Don't Eat Bill Gates' Fake Gas Butter.
This show.
Yeah, the name of this episode. Because there is a story that Bill Gates is helping fund a company that is making fake butter out of gas. Don't eat the fake gas butter. We'll get into that story very, very soon. This part of the program brought to you by Dillon Rings. And they're at Dillon Rings. They are open. They are a full-service jewelry shop. If you would like more updates, one was just put up before I went on air on Facebook by Josh Ryder. Leslie is now able to leave the ICU, still needs some time to continue to recover and get better, but she is improving by the day. She is speaking more, able to do more on her own. And again, getting out of the ICU is very good. Please continue to offer up prayers to her for health and well-being, and as well as some prayers of strength and fortitude for Josh himself. He is back. Business must continue. So Dillon Rings is open. And again, they're a full-service jewelry shop. Great selection, great customized work that Josh does himself, repair work. They really do it all. And of course, they can do spa treatments, clean things up, appraisals. So stop by, at least just to say hello to Josh. 119 Brown Springs Road. And be sure to tell him that Joey, that fella on the radio, sent you.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
The Tierce family has been your local Roto-Rooter service since 1964. Drain cleaning, plumbing repair, and those troublesome septic tanks, no problem. Technology has changed a bit in the last 54 years. Video inspections of lines to locate problems is available, as well as scheduling your appointment online. River Region residents have trusted Roto-Rooter for over half a century. You can too. Call today at 272-7130 or visit online at rotorooteralabama.com.
Call Roto-Rooter, that's the name, and away go troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
This is David Ernest from the Health and Wealth Show. We like to cut up and have fun, maybe poke a little fun at some politicians, but we don't take ourselves too seriously. One thing we do take seriously is your personal finances and your plans for retirement. You can tell by listening, we're a little different. Yeah, we like to have a good time on the radio, but we're dead serious about your financial future and helping you achieve your goals. At Ernest Financial, we're committed to giving you the attention you need. We don't treat you like a number. you're way more important to us. At Ernest Financial, it's about helping you today and preparing you for tomorrow. People call us who are on the verge of retirement, and they know they need a plan for the future. No matter where you are in life, Ernest Financial will help guide your every step towards retirement. Give us a call and let us show you what our individual customer attention can do for your future.
Concerned about your retirement? Call David Ernest toll-free at 833-596-7233. That's 833-596-SAFE.
Hi, it's me, Flo, here to tell you that with a Progressive Home and Auto Bundle, you get 24/7 protection, so you're covered no matter where the day takes you.
Even bad hair day?
Yep.
And tree branch fell on my car day?
Especially that day. Progressive has you covered 24/7 for your home and auto.
How about thought it was chicken, but it was tuna day? Or overnight construction outside my bedroom day?
Those days too.
Great, because that was each day this week.
Been there. Well, at least your home and auto are covered every day with Progressive.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states.
I can't believe how spotless my floors look after using the Swiffer Power Mop. No more dragging around a heavy mop and messy bucket. Now I get the same deep clean without all the work. Thanks to the powerful solution and scrubbing pad of the Swiffer Power Mop, dirt and grime don't stand a chance, and I don't break a sweat. Mic drop. Mop drop.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
A smarter way to mop. Try it or your money back.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
Is foot pain holding you back? Visit the Good Feet store for a free personalized fitting and test walk.
Rich Thomas Weather, brought to you by Clark Heating, Air and Plumbing.
Hey, this is Robbie Clark. Stay cool with a tune-up with Clark Heating, Air and Plumbing. Don't wait. Schedule today. Give us a call at 334-277-2125. Alabama certification number 09098.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. Be flexible with your plans today, especially this afternoon and this evening. Our weather app will keep you on top of the action with future radar. Otherwise, no big surprises for August. High temperatures today, 88 to 90 again, near 90 tomorrow. Lows at night will be in the lower 70s. And again, showers and storms each day right on through Thursday, most likely in the afternoon and evening hours, tending to thin out a bit by late week. Fewer storms by Friday and Saturday with highs in the middle 90s by then. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Budget Floors and More has the best prices. Carpet as low as 69 cents per square foot. LVP starting at $1.29 a square foot. Sheet vinyl as low as 65 cents per square foot. And the lowest prices on flooring installation supplies. Budget Floors and More across from Delray Publix.
When news happens, you'll hear about it first. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to the program. Now, I've got this all queued up. It is a company, and I'm not against job creation. I'm not against innovation. It's just sometimes you see a thing and you're like, there's something creepy about it. It's the same feeling you might get with all this talk about AI. But all these food alternatives, like hot dogs. Like, have you tried different brands of hot dogs, Byron?
Unfortunately, I have, Joey.
Right, and some brands of hot dogs are better than others, certainly. Yeah, I like Nathan's. Now, you might be able to say, like, Hebrew National. Well, maybe that's better, a little better, maybe.
I'm a Nathan's guy.
Nathan's pretty good, though. Like Ballpark, they're not the greatest thing, but you grill them up pretty good. They're not bad.
Better than a Red Hot, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, some of those, just like, that's just paste. That's too emulsified. But the worst always, like whether it's hot dogs or like all these different restaurants, like Burger King, Wendy's, McDonald's, and you take a step up to like your Bad Daddy Burger Bar and your Five Guys, and even like the burgers over there at Baumhauer's and stuff. And there's all these different types of burgers. You might like, I like this one. I like Hamburger King better. I like whatever. But the worst always, like the most plain hot dog in the world or the most plain hamburger in the world, always tastes better than this is Beyond Meat. Like this is a plant-based alternative to the meat. That's some nasty hot dog that tastes like a bunch of green peas. That's some nasty hamburger that tastes like a fermented like kimchi. Like that's not, if I want kimchi, I'll eat kimchi. That's not a hamburger, that's not a hot dog. So maybe the science has gotten better. Maybe this, and let me just play the clip because now I'm just ranting about it. It gives me the creeps. So like you can see the beginning of this video here. Let's pull it up on screen. That looks like butter, right?
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, it's a yellow stick of something.
I mean, yeah.
Like, and I don't like margarine either. I don't know how many folks got used to that stuff, but I guess you get a taste for that. But let's just listen in. This is from CBS News, Chicago.
It looks, smells, and tastes like the butter we're all familiar with, but without the farmland, fertilizers, or emissions tied to that typical process. And this butter breakthrough, it's happening right here in Batavia.
In Batavia, I guess, Illinois.
In the middle of an industrial park in a suburb west of Chicago, something unprecedented is happening.
So you're using this gas right now to like cook your food. And we're proposing that we would like to first make your food with that gas.
The company is called Savor, and you better believe it. Their pioneering tech uses carbon and hydrogen to make the stick of butter you see on this plate.
So we process natural gas to make butter. That's not.
I'm trying to find substitutes for this company because there's no way this thing can stand on its own.
So far, I am not sold.
This is pretty novel to be able to make food that looks and tastes and feels exactly like dairy butter, but with no agriculture whatsoever.
And no long ingredient list the average person can't pronounce.
It's really just our fat, some water, a little bit of lecithin as an emulsifier, and some natural flavor and color.
How? Fats are made up of carbon and hydrogen chains.
Yeah.
The goal here, replicate those chains without animals or plants.
Mhm.
And they did it. They tell me to simplify. They take carbon dioxide from the air and hydrogen from water, heat them up and oxidize them. The final result?
It looks like a wax, like a candle wax at first.
But they're fat molecules, like the ones in beef, cheese, or vegetable oils.
Sustainability is why we are here.
It's all done releasing zero greenhouse gases, using no farmland to feed cows.
We're like not at full capacity in this facility yet.
And even though we're standing in a factory setting,
And in addition to the carbon footprint being much lower for a process like this, right? The land footprint is like 1,000 times lower than what you need in traditional agriculture.
I know what you're thinking. I think we need to taste this.
I would love for you to taste this.
How does it taste?
Yeah, it kind of comes down to that. But even if it tastes good, I don't know about this.
Have we tested any mice? Do they have 3 years yet? I mean,
I haven't churned my own butter ever. Like, I admit it. You ever churned your own butter?
No, I have not.
And I'm sure even the real butter you get at the grocery store, it's not like some grandma sitting there.
I've had family members do it. It's
By the
not
way, have
too
you ever
far from
watched
me.
like people do the classic churning?
Yeah.
Like,
No, seriously. Like I've had family members. Like,
there's something peaceful about it.
I think the repetitive. Yeah. Waka waka waka. Well played, sir.
So, how does it taste, lady?
I love butter, so I'm going to take a really healthy amount.
Admittedly, surprisingly, like butter.
Mhm.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Producing butter.
Another reason they say this makes an impact, no palm oil.
a significant contributor to deforestation and climate change. That's not all. Of the 51 billion tons of greenhouse gases emitted every year, 7% is from the production of fats and oils from animals and plants. So when could you get a taste yourself? Right now, they're working directly with restaurants, bakeries, and food suppliers, releasing these chocolates made with their butter in time for the holidays.
Savor butter in either its current manifestation or with our partners, we expect that to be on the shelves kind of more like around 2027.
Their teams here in Batavia, Illinois, and their home lab base in San Jose, California, backed by Bill Gates, who wrote in his blog, quote, "The idea of switching to lab-made fats and oils may seem strange at first, but their potential to significantly reduce our carbon footprint is immense."
I'm so tired of that stupid nerd.
All right, you ready for this? Number of jobs or training slots, 4. Subsidies, approximately $200,000. Not a lot, but I mean, what are they doing?
Looks like they're just they're creating that butter out of like using natural gas.
Well, they are contributing to a lot of local nonprofits, so I wouldn't be surprised if there's more to this story later on.
And I, by the way, I loved that that explanation they had earlier. What was it? To keep it simplified? Yeah, let's back that up real quick. I got to hear this again.
Animals or plants. And they did it. They tell me to simplify. They take
To simplify?
carbon dioxide from the air and hydrogen from water, heat them up and oxidize them. The final result?
It looks like a wax.
So it's just that simple. They just heat up water and air, and voila, we got wax that tastes like butter. And I'm like, wait, there's got to be. I saw all those things behind you. I saw those pipes, all those gaskets. I saw those valves. I saw. Let me try to find more words. I saw the whole plant. They're doing more than just
behind you.
Like, how do you get the carbon out? How do you get the hydrogen out?
You do it pretty efficiently with only 3 employees, man.
Oh, well, yeah. Like, so what the heck is that? I don't know. I think it's. I'm in the camp of. I'll stick with real butter.
That's crazy, though, man. Approximately about $175,000 in tax credits for 3 jobs.
That's kind of crazy.
That's nuts.
And heck, maybe it is the future. Like, we don't even need those animals anymore. It's all about sustainability and what could go wrong.
We might be able to sustain the environment, but not the economy.
Yeah, or ourselves. You got to wonder. We were having a serious conversation off air about environmental factors, and honestly, part of me looks at this stuff and I go, it might seem like it works in the short term, but how much of that stuff do you eat that it ends up being something you didn't quite expect?
Well, I mean, think about it just from if the left's carbon tax footprint, tax credit swap thing, if they're not able to make money off that, then they got to try to find some other scheme. And it seems like health, food, moving that way, kind of falling into the Robert Kennedy Jr., we're going to make America healthy again. It seems like they're trying to capitalize on some recent momentum from our side.
Sure.
So,
yeah.
I mean, it doesn't surprise me, but
anyway, this part of the program brought to you by Bo Goodson and the Goodson Group. And there at the Goodson Group, Bo and his team are ready to help you, whether you're looking to buy or sell your home, your property here in the Montgomery and surrounding areas. Bo's been working in the River Region real estate market for about 50 years now, if not over 50 years. And at the Goodson Group, not only can they help you with buying and selling your property, but they have management services available should you want to rent out your home. And the Goodson Group is also the home of the Bo Goodson Real Estate School, one of the most highly acclaimed and accredited real estate programs here in the great state of Alabama. Great way to become a licensed agent or a more knowledgeable private player. So check them out today. You can always learn more at thegoodsongroup.com or just give them a call direct at 551-0225. That's 551-0225. Bo Goodson and the Goodson Group. Great sponsor here of the program. We'll be right back.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Hi there, I'm Kim Williams with Alabama Home Mortgage.
And I'm Madeline Cannon. And we have some exciting news to share with you. We've been serving the state of Alabama for many, many years. And now we are able and ready to offer the same great mortgage financing in Georgia and Florida as well.
Our company may be Alabama Home Mortgage, but now we can finance your Georgia home mortgage and your Florida home mortgage too. We couldn't be more excited to extend our customer base to our neighboring states. For years, we have had customers call us in hopes we could assist them with purchasing their vacation cabin in North Georgia or their dream home in Florida. And now we can. For those of you who have family and friends that live in Florida and Georgia, be sure to tell them the good news.
Whether you are looking to purchase or refinance a home located in Alabama, Georgia, or Florida, you owe it to yourself to give Alabama Home Mortgage a call at 567-4223. That's 567-4223, or visit us online at myalabamahomemortgage.com to complete an application on your time.
It's not just a slogan. Call Alabama Home Mortgage because, folks, there is a difference in mortgage companies. NMLS 1586-36-8, Equal Housing Lender.
Hey y'all, this is Steve Kirkpatrick for Big Block Designs. I haven't always been a drafter. I grew up in the radio, TV broadcasting business in Pensacola, which is why I know the value of advertising on Blue Water Broadcasting. And you know the first thing you do when you get in the car is turn on the radio. Blue Water Broadcasting gets results. Big Block Designs has grown because we advertise with Blue Water. It works. Want to grow your business? You should too. Have a better day.
Did you know that radio is the #1 reach platform in all of media? It's true. Call us to find out how to put radio's #1 reach to work for your business. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
Tired of surprise pest problems and surprise bills? Pest Pro Services now offers subscription pest control, a simple, affordable way to protect your home year-round. Bundle pest protection, termite treatment, and mosquito control for one predictable monthly price. Great for budgeting. No stress, no pests. Locally owned, always reliable, Pest Pro is Central Alabama's trusted pest control team. Find them on Facebook or visit ppsriverregion.com. When you want to know, call a pro. Pest Pro.
The premier place the River Region turns to for news, weather, traffic, and opinion. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. So did you see that we have the official announcement? Well, or at least it's impending. It's being recorded. Anyway, Barry Moore is running for the United States Senate. Congressman Barry Moore, that is. So that open seat, Barry now joins the club with Steve Marshall and Jarrett Hudson going for that seat. Now, Moore will officially announce this run today at some point, then apparently embark on a media tour across North Alabama over the next couple days. I think that's a smart move. I've come to a realization that if you want to win a statewide election, you better go Birmingham North.
Go where the fishes are. If you want to
go where fishing, the people and the money is.
That's right.
Yep. But Moore told 1819 News in an interview on Monday that he decided to run for Senate after, quote, a lot of prayer. You know, I asked him about this, 2 months ago?
Mm-hmm.
He said, well, Joe, you know what I'm saying? I'm praying about it. Which was kind of a yes in that moment. This is a way he could easily have just said, no, I like my spot in Congress. But here's what he told 1819 News. I have enjoyed and I do enjoy serving in Congress. I've had about every county south of Montgomery now in Alabama. Just knowing that I was the first elected official in the nation 10 years ago this month to endorse Donald Trump and know that he needs a true Trump ally in the Senate. It's just one of those things where he needs allies, people that we know that he can trust. This is an opportunity for me to continue the fight with him. 10 years is a long time. Sometimes it seems like it was 10 days ago. I've been with him 100% of the way through the House on the Judiciary Committee. Every time there's been an opportunity on the floor to support him and stand with him, even when it wasn't politically expedient, I stood with the president. We need to know that the U.S. Senate and certainly the senators from Alabama have his back in this fight that we're facing for our nation. This race doesn't feel like an underdog race. It feels like with the record we have, the support for the president and just having served in the federal government, being in the legislative branch, I think many people see that as an asset. honestly, I've been very well pleased with the reception we've been getting. We're just going to run on our record. That's what we've always done. Moore goes on. Again, Barry Moore is running for Senate. He says, I tell everybody I was elected to Congress in 2020, and 2020 is perfect vision. I don't have to tell you what I'm going to do. I just ask people to look back at my record in the state legislature, where I was the most conservative House member. Look at my record in the U.S. House, where I was always the most conservative member from Alabama. And I have the highest score for protecting Americans' liberty. I think we just run on our record. And I think the American people, certainly in Alabama, they love Donald Trump and they love conservative fighters. I think for us to run on our record is certainly something that doesn't put us as an underdog, but we're going to run like we're behind. We've always been a great grassroots team. We'll continue to do those things and just push out our message and see what the people decide. Don't really feel like an underdog in this one. I feel like this is an opportunity to continue the fight, and we're going to do that. So, I mean, what do you think, first blush? I mean, this had been kind of well known in our circles for a while. But that new Signal poll that came out not too long ago, I think sample of about 400 folks, likely primary voters in the Republican Party, still have Steve Marshall. But Barry Moore number wasn't terrible in that either.
Listen, man, I'm not going to count Barry out. I mean, his record is his record. I'm not going to give him the distinction of being the most conservative. I will say that he is a very, very conservative representative. That I don't know how you compare apples and oranges when, you know, Marshall doesn't really have the same benchmarks or, you know, check boxes that you can kind of put side by side. I mean,
well, I think, talking to Robertson yesterday, I think Marshall, and I would love to have the Attorney General, love to have Steve in the studio to go over that record as AG, because I think he's going to be able to make a pretty good argument.
I'm not saying he can't make a good argument. I'm
that
just
he
saying like
follow through.
Right. But, you know, the things that Barry's going to be able to say that he voted for, obviously,
Sure.
Steve hasn't been able to vote for. So,
Well, and who knows what happens when the Oppo research and all that stuff comes up? What's going to be the angle of attack? I hope for a positive race, because honestly, whether it be Steve Marshall, Barry Moore, or even Jared Hudson, I wouldn't be mad with either, any of them.
when's the last time we've had a positive statewide election primary? Right.
Yeah, I was having a little trouble.
No, I mean, people will have to answer for all kinds of things we know about, things we're going to learn about, where every dollar comes from, where every dollar goes.
Now, the Signal poll commissioned by the Business Council of Alabama, when asked who they would vote for today in the Senate, 24% of respondents said Steve Marshall. Well, just shy at 13%, 12.9% said Auburn coach Bruce Pearl, but I don't think Pearl's getting that.
I don't either.
8.8% said U.S. Representative Barry Moore, and 3% said Jared Hudson. Just over 51% were undecided. However, the number increased to 57.5% with Pearl removed from the option. So this is anybody's game. If you got half of respondents undecided, you take out that Bruce Pearl number of about 13%, then I think you're going to end up with something.
Listen, I'm not trying to make light of anyone's decision, you know, all the things they have to wrestle around with on this, but I do think that Barry probably got a strong head nod from the Oval Office, at least that he would not, even if the president come out and endorse Barry, letting the guys roll it out on the court and just see who wins. I think that's kind of the best you can hope for in a primary in a lot of cases.
I got the feeling Trump will keep his powder dry until it's a sure thing, or maybe there's kind of a last nudge.
Yeah, I mean, like,
because he's gotten burned so many times when he's endorsed early in Alabama, like the latest being, I guess, Mo Brooks.
Yeah, but Barry is a true quantity with the president.
Absolutely.
And I mean, you heard from his statement, not only is he running on his record, part of that record is being the first in line with President Trump. And I got a feeling we hear as much about that as we do about any vote that he's taken up there.
Well, we'll continue the conversation. If you want to react to Barry Moore getting into the race, that's 272-9228. This part of the program brought to you by James Cole and Cole Plumbing, and they're at Cole Plumbing, ready to help you with any and all of your plumbing needs. Could be simple things like that faucet keeps dripping, that toilet keeps running. that toilet is too low to the ground. My hips don't work. My knees don't work. Why is it always a chore to try to just do my business on the toilet? Well, they can help you upgrade. They can fix that running faucet. They can fix that always running toilet. Of course, they can also help you install new things like that brand new toilet or a brand new garbage disposal in the kitchen. Could be you have a major problem, like a major water leak or like a gas line leak. They can fix those issues, and they can do it without tearing up your home. Don't have to tear out a bunch of drywall, dig up a huge hole in your yard to find the issue. No, they can find it with precision expertise and solve the problem. So you'll check out Cole Plumbing today. You can always learn more at coleplumbing.com, but I say save their number, 279-8919. That's 279-8919. And just remember, folks, when you have trouble with your bowl,
call on Cole.
We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. Police say a gunman opened fire in a Target parking lot Monday in Austin, Texas, killing 2 adults and a child. Police say they do not know the motive of the suspect, a man in his 30s, who they say has a mental health history. The suspect was taken into custody. An explosion rocked a steel plant outside Pittsburgh on Monday. 2 people were killed and more than 10 others were injured. Investigators are still working to determine the cause of that blast. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation says 30-year-old Patrick Joseph White, the man who fired more than 180 shots at the headquarters of the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. That's after he killed a police officer. On Wall Street, the Dow up 451 points, the Nasdaq adding 245. This is SRN News.
Hi, it's Mike Gallagher. You work hard, you build wisely, your home has become one of your greatest assets. If you're staying put this summer, this might be the perfect time to put that equity to work, whether it's funding a second home, helping your kids get their start, or simply creating more margin in your financial life. Mike and Brian at Fellowship Home Loans are the only ones I trust to guide you through it. They've done loans for my family. They tailor every loan to fit your goals. Fellowship is a direct lender and operates with your best interest in mind. If you're looking to access your equity through a refi or exploring a HELOC for some cash this summer for a second property, or maybe tackle those updates you've been putting off, start with people you trust, people I trust. Go to fellowshiphomeloans.com/Mike G, fellowshiphomeloans.com/Mike G, or call 800-510-MIKE, 800-510-6453. Fellowship Home Loans, mortgage lending by the book.
Nationwide Mortgage Bankers, DBA Fellowship Home Loans, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS number 81938.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network, brought to you by Montgomery Paint and Body. From little fender benders to total body repair, MPB will fix it good as new, maybe better. For 4 decades, the Turner family has been getting you back on the road. Call 279-7325.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. Be flexible with your plans today, especially this afternoon and this evening. Our weather app will keep you on top of the action with Future Radar. Otherwise, no big surprises for August. High temperatures today, 88 to 90 again, near 90 tomorrow. Lows at night will be in the lower 70s. And again, showers and storms each day right on through Thursday, most likely in the afternoon and evening hours, tending to thin out a bit by late week. Fewer storms by Friday and Saturday with highs in the middle 90s by then. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, these are today's top stories. The dead baby found inside a hearse at the West Gadsden Funeral Home has been identified. 1-year-old Blessence Pearl was discovered strangled with a thick rope string by funeral home employees on Saturday. Gadsden police arrested the child's mother, Teresha Pearl, Sunday afternoon on suspicion of homicide. Auburn wide receiver Malcolm Simmons' domestic assault case has been dismissed. Simmons was arrested July 16th in Lee County on a charge of domestic assault with strangulation. Malcolm Simmons was cleared of all wrongdoing on Monday and is now expected to be the starter for the Tigers when they open the season on August 29th. Crime Stoppers has increased the reward to $5,000 for information in the 2019 cold case homicide of LaQuanda Parker. On the morning of March 11th, MPD responded to the 2800 block of Fairwest Street, where 31-year-old LaQuanda Parker was found dead from multiple gunshots. If you have any information regarding the murder of LaQuanda Parker, please contact police. From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, I'm Sky Mosley.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have Leaf Filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/radio for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Quick moment here for a business break, folks. We'll get back to whatever's in the news. Actually, this is a nice breather from the usual news and politics. We have Kim and Brendan here from Royal Furniture. How y'all two doing today?
Doing great.
Good to see y'all.
Good to be here.
Now, for folks who don't know about Royal Furniture, let's just start with the 101 real quick.
Okay. We are new to the city. Well, we actually have a office that's been here for a while, but we're actually new under dealer. And we're on the Eastern Boulevard, 4075 Eastern Boulevard. And we have a lot of specials going on right now.
A lot of specials?
A lot of specials.
Like discounts?
Like discounts.
Okay. I'm like, what sort of stuff?
Like we have like our bedroom sets. Some are on sale, $17.99 for a 5-piece bedroom set. And with that, you get a free mattress, queen size mattress with qualified purchases.
Okay. Very cool. And it's a matter of like, get over there, see what you like, and then start seeing
what you see, and then we get you set up.
Okay.
Get you delivered ASAP.
And you said you're new to the area?
Yeah, we're new to the Eastern Boulevard. We're located 4075, right behind the Longhorns in the old Badcock building.
Okay, very cool. Well, I encourage folks to stop by, but it's not just furniture shopping folks need to consider. Y'all have a blood drive coming up.
We do. We are partnering with Lifestyle, and we're actually having a blood drive on Saturday from 10 to 2.
10 to 2. Mm-hmm. This upcoming Saturday.
This upcoming Saturday, yes.
So other than just bring yourself and
bring yourself, bring your kids. We're going to have a live DJ. We're actually going to have some pop-up shop with vendors. We have TJX Snacks that's going to actually be out there selling lemonades and all kind of cupcakes and pies, and also have top-notch barbecue. Going to be out there selling some barbecue plates. So it's a little bit of everything for the whole family.
Okay, so it's not just stopping by and giving blood. It's stop by, give blood, or have a good time.
And have a good time, yes.
See the plays.
Yes.
And enjoy company with folks.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
One thing about Kim, she knows how to plan an event. So everybody make sure that they don't miss it, please, because her DJ.
Who's the DJ?
We have actually DJ Walt that'll actually be here this Saturday. He's actually there every Friday also. We have Food Truck Fridays. So he's out there on Fridays from 3 to 7 playing and just getting customers to come by and have a vibe in the park a lot. And come on in and check out some deals we have in the store as well.
Okay, yeah, so do it all, folks. Give blood. I mean, and it's something that is always needed, obviously.
Yes, always.
Always needed. But yeah, goes by, see some deals, see, maybe need a new furniture set of some sort. And I mean, it sounds like a great event, too, that it's a lot of things going on. So yeah, bring the kids, bring the whole family.
Yes.
I like this. Now, am I missing anything with all this?
Is he missing anything?
I don't think he's missing anything. Just missing you. You stop by and see us too.
Okay.
You show up and everybody be there.
I appreciate y'all. Well, folks, get by there. Again, that's Royal Furniture this Saturday upcoming 10 to 2. Enjoy the company, see the sales, and of course, give some blood. Great cause and a lot of fun doing it.
Absolutely. We'll be out there with Live South and Kim's DJ. Love the tunes pumping, and we got good food going on, and it's going to be a good time. We just, it's really important to us that the community knows how much we appreciate them. They've been so welcoming, so warm and kind to us. And we want to do everything we can at all of our locations here to give back. So
very cool. How long have y'all been involved in the business?
I've been with Royal just under a year now.
Okay.
Kim, probably around the same,
Around the
right?
same.
Okay, and came in about the same time?
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I hope folks, y'all get out there because it's a great idea. And again, folks, it's Royal Furniture this upcoming Saturday, 10 to 2. And is anything like on social media, folks want to like get in front of their eyes, read it?
Oh, please do. Kim?
Yes, you can go to Royal Furniture Montgomery and you see it there. We have it advertised all over there. So just check out there. And we also run our different specials that we have going on there as well.
Very
on
cool.
Facebook.
Yeah,
Very
follow the Facebooks. We
Yeah.
post some good videos. We don't just advertise. We're pretty funny sometimes too.
Awesome.
So follow Royal Furniture of Montgomery on Facebook. Follow Royal Furniture of Prattville on Facebook. Any city that we have a store in, which is a total of 14 stores, we have a Facebook page, and most of us are pretty. Not to toot our own horns, but we're pretty good at what we do. So
Awesome.
come hang out with us on Facebook too.
I'd imagine it's a good kind of set to like shoot videos and stuff, like a lot of floor space, a lot of options there.
Oh yeah, it can be pretty fun.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys. I told you it'd be quick and easy. But again, folks, y'all take them up on it. 10 to 2 this upcoming Saturday. Look up Royal Furniture Montgomery on Facebook. Appreciate it, Kim. Appreciate it, Brenda.
Appreciate you.
Thanks for having us.
We'll be right back.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Hi, this is Bo Goodson with the Goodson Group with your Real Estate Minute. So far this year, over 2,600 homes have sold and closed in the River region. 55% of these homes sold in 60 days or less, and sellers are receiving close to 98% of listed price. Over the last year, average prices in the River region have increased over 10% from last year. We do have more inventory now to show buyers before they purchase. There are homes in all price ranges available for buyers interested in moving. As a seller, it's a great time to sell through a realtor and gain access to many buyers, not just one or two. If you are a buyer, having more homes to pick from give you better choices before you buy. Our market is now more balanced between a buyer and seller market than we've seen since 2019. Get the facts, see the inventory, get a great local lender to help you, and an agent that's going to look after your interests. For all the facts, call Bo Goodson from the Goodson Group, 221-2883 or 551-0225.
What's your biggest investment? More than likely, it's your home. So treat it that way when you hire a painting contractor. At PBS Painting, there are no gimmicks, no $99 specials. Just quality painting and someone who treats your home with the same respect that you do. At PBS Painting, we have been painting for years and look forward to many more years to come. With PBS Painting, the job gets prepped properly, whether it's cleaning, scraping, or priming. We always use quality products, which is a must for a quality paint job. So if you're looking for a painter that doesn't need upfront money and is on the job at all times, then please give me a call. Scott Bowers and PBS Painting, 294-5122. That's PBS Painting, 294-5122. Look at some of our work on Facebook at PBS Painting Montgomery.
Are you tired of the mainstream media's biased reporting? Do you want to stay informed on the news that really matters to you? Look no further than 1819 News. At 1819 News, we bring you the latest in Alabama news, politics, sports, culture, and more. We've assembled a team of journalists with Alabama values dedicated to the truth and the truth alone. Visit us at 1819news.com today. That's 1819news.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. Honest News, Alabama Values. This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
Trustworthy, accurate, immediate. Carrying your voice across the River region. News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. I'm your host, Joey Clark. Byron Sheehy here in the studio. How you doing today?
Not too bad, man. It's not that hot out. Still managed to sweat through the shirt a little bit, but
yeah, it's not too bad out there. Not too bad at all. Again, 272-9228, especially. Would love to get some reaction. Barry Moore now in the race. The Senate race.
So we got 3 total announced?
Yeah. Steve Marshall, Barry Moore, Jared Hudson. We have talked to Jared Hudson. Of course, I've not talked to Barry since he announced, but would love to have Barry Moore on and would love to have Steve Marshall on. I'd love to talk to all of them. I think we have, whether it's the AG's race, obviously the governor's kind of foregone, but the AG's race, lieutenant governor race, ag, secretary of state, like we have an embarrassment of riches on the Republican side. Like I won't be too troubled, honestly, no matter who wins.
I think this is going to be a nasty cycle.
You do. And is that because it's so close, everybody, on like all the normal things you must say as a Republican? Like everybody's so close in that regard on policy that it's going to come down to personality.
Part of it, yeah.
Yeah.
I think I've used the Violet Agreement. You know, it's hard to distinguish where policy-wise you can differentiate between the candidates. So you actually start to look at some of the more nuanced things, the IEs, you know, where the money's spent, where it comes from, who's beholden to whom, all those sort of things. So, and some of the fodder that some of the candidates have already kind of given their opponents. There's more than enough stuff out there for the opposition to grab onto.
So if I had to handicap this race, though, I think it is pretty much a race between Barry and Steve because Jared Hudson, like my first conversation with him, is a relative unknown. Whereas I think, especially if Barry very quickly starts hitting the pavement hard in North Alabama, like he is with this announcement today, then Barry's going to have as much name ID. And you start reminding people he really was the first guy to endorse Trump. You have, of course, those clips of Trump. I'm sure they exist of great job, Congressman Barry Moore of Alabama. I think Barry is going to be fine in terms of getting his name up. Money, it looks like Steve Marshall is very strong in this. Not to say Barry Moore can't raise money. And maybe I'm just, I'm not giving Jared Hudson enough credit, but given he's a relative unknown, I think he ran for sheriff in the local county, didn't win that. So you lose the sheriff's race, you're going to run for United States Senate. Again, everything Jared Hudson's told me I like. It's just, if I had to look at this objectively, it looks like it's a 2-man race to me more than a 3.
Until any candidate raises or has committed over $1 million, they're not really a credible candidate. Well, I hate to say it that way, but that's
is this just the case with statewide election?
Yeah, 100%.
Well, I mean, Coach is sitting on what, about just shy of 5 million?
I mean, it's a name ID game. I mean, this Senate race, what was the last competitive? About 8.5 million.
Yeah.
I mean, once you factor in all the third-party groups and everything, it'll be approximately 10 mil.
What do you think of this idea that like a 50C4 can just give money to candidates in Alabama and you don't necessarily know where the money's coming from?
I personally think that a lot of the C3, C4s, C whatever are pass-through entities and nothing more than loopholes and, you know.
Well, C3s, there's a very clear line. Like they cannot give to political candidates.
But they can educate.
But yes, they can do that. But even then, like you can't advocate for a particular candidate.
Yeah, but if you're good at what you do, you can present the facts in a way so that you're doing the side-by-side T-bar. And it's very apparent who you're for by the things you highlight on your T-bar. So
the folks giving the money and really doing the campaigning, those are going to be your C4s, as well as other types. And there's different variations.
I think, I mean, this is kind of getting down in the weeds, but a C3 has its component, and that's more your mobilization, your education, your grassroots, and so kind of before the campaign, if you will. And then by the time the punching starts, that's when you need your C4 fully up and operational and well-funded so that they can throw a punch back if needed.
Yeah, and I know people have raised a lot of hell over the fact that this is essentially dark money in our elections. I love that terminology, by the way, dark money. And it's like, I feel like anybody who's in politics worth their salt is going to find every advantage they can, especially on the financial side.
Money flows downstream, and it'll find any sort of crevice it can and make its way into a campaign.
And so if you have gotten, that's how everybody got to the dance in the legislature. You got to change the law. And right now,
who's responsible for that, though?
That would be the state legislature.
The incumbents.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And if that's how they got to the dance, if
Yeah.
that's how they got that spot, they're not going to upset that apple cart. It would take critical mass of multiple different big money players essentially agreeing, yeah, we'll clean this up.
Okay. Now,
It's not going to be the everyday person. Maybe if the everyday person is rallied up enough to give people, certain folks, hell, the big players, but it's going to be an elite decision that, okay, yeah, doing this is a little much, and you hit me pretty hard, I hit you pretty hard. Like, this was the way the game was played, but we need to be over with it. And I don't see that on the horizon anytime soon.
I personally think it's going to take an enormous scandal for the public to wake up to realize how much buying and selling there is of these candidates.
Now, which race in the state do you think will be the most contentious?
Right now,
Yeah.
just calling it Secretary of State.
Between Dobson and
Mhm.
Sorrell.
Yep.
Oh, that makes me a little sad.
She's going to be well financed, and he is actually who I was thinking about specifically whenever I was talking about the fighter that's already out there. And whether it's,
Well, and he
his
came out and
responsibility or
did
on.
that challenge of running a clean campaign, and there was no response from the Dobson folks.
Yeah, I would have acted like I didn't get that message either.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the timeliness of when that was requested was kind of suspicious.
Yeah, no, and you might be onto something there. Like, I admit I am light on things like the agriculture commissioner race, because it's just not my field. So I kind of assume we have, and maybe I'm assuming wrong, you can correct me if I'm wrong, that we have some pretty good filters. Say what you will about special interests in politics in general and in this state in particular. But it seems like, say, the interests when it comes to agriculture in the state are very good at vetting folks. They might have issues. I'm not saying everybody comes through that vetting process as a saint and isn't doing certain folks favors. What I'm saying is you need to know your stuff. You need to be known in that community if you want to rise to that position.
They're not going to allow someone to obtain the position that's unqualified. So there is the vetting as far as making sure that someone can walk and chew gum and actually knows the industry or the department in which they're supposed to be overseer.
Now, when I look at the Secretary of State, I think you're right. After you said it, I'm like, yeah, damn.
Yeah.
That one might get a little ugly. What about the lieutenant governor race? Right now, you have Wes Allen, you have Rick Pate, and you have the fake doctor lady.
I think that probably depends on if someone else gets in the race. With the people that you have listed so far, I don't really see it getting that negative, but all it would take is one person throwing their hat in the ring, and then that one jumps ahead of the Secretary of State as far as just nastiness.
And then you look at the top of the ticket, and it's now like just presumed. It's a safe presumption. I pretty much presume it. Coach Tuberville is going to be Governor Tuberville. Got a huge war chest, plenty of money. He's raising money all over the state. My unsolicited advice, just as a layman here on talk radio, is like, hey, act like you're already governor, not in a disrespectful way, but in the way that you go do what governors do. And I think that's going to be very strong. Is there any hope? I guess the Democrats' only hope and prayer there is a legal lawfare approach.
Yeah, I think it would have to be a Roy Moore, Doug Jones type collapse by the Republican Party to lose a statewide election to a Democrat. I mean, that's just the reality of the situation.
And the only person that could even, I still don't think it'd be that competitive, but like could actually make it somewhat of a race where you got to spend more money would be somebody like Doug Jones. I just don't think Doug, from the last thing I saw of him talking about this, I don't think Doug Jones has any interest in running for governor.
So you hear all kinds of, little tidbits in Montgomery. I heard that the mayor up in Birmingham was strongly considering running in the Democrat primary this time.
Woodfin.
And then the mayor from Montgomery was strongly considering running for governor 4 years after that.
Interesting.
Kind of a wait your turn sort of scenario.
Could you get somebody like Walt Maddox run again?
I'd be
because he's still very active.
Yeah, I don't know the Birmingham base versus the Tuscaloosa base, like how much going back to the funders of the campaigns, like if they're part of that same crew or not.
So the field is starting to
coalesce a little bit.
Yeah, you're starting to see, okay, these are going to be the folks on these statewide races.
I do think that there's more room for a couple of candidates in the Senate.
Really? You think it's going to be more than 3 Republicans running?
I mean, Marshall was the clear favorite as soon as he announced.
Sure.
I mean, he's got a pretty good track record amongst the conservatives in this state. And everybody at every Saturday GOP breakfast group knows all the stuff that he's done. I haven't seen a candidate work like Barry against Carl this last race. That was impressive. And to know that he kind of started in a similar position then as he is now, what North Alabama is this time, Mobile was last time.
No, and this is the story of Barry Moore. Like, you could say, oh, he's done when the whole Mike Hubbard thing comes up. Like, his career in politics is just done. Nope. And then he gets into the congressional race here in the old district too. And you think, well, Jeff Coleman's the Shelby back guy. Jeff Coleman's got all this money. They got billboards all over the place. They got ads running all over the place. And Barry makes it into the runoff.
Old golly gee shucks, Barry just gets in there and hands him his hat in the runoff.
And that is what I think is he can lull people into a false sense of security, because he is a little, golly gee, oh shucks, Barry at times, the way he, and I think he honestly presents himself that way. But he is a workhorse, man. And also he's an easy guy to talk to. Sleep
on him if you want to. I mean, he's a formidable politician.
Well, and could you have more people jump in to sort of muddy the waters? Well, like somebody who has no intention really of winning to be senator, but they can take attention. They essentially get people to spend more money.
Oh, you mean will someone be put in as a plant?
Yes.
Probably.
Yeah. Probably.
What's the qualifying fee? Money well spent.
Yeah. Yeah. Right, and even if we lose, we're all kind of making money, gentlemen.
Hey, you need to raise your name ID a little bit for later on.
Dry run.
Yeah,
you're running for something else some other day.
This time.
All right, you're going to lose this time, but and pay it.
Give it a good old college try. Just get that 8 or 9% you need.
Man, I got into the wrong side of the business. No, I don't think I'd have the stomach for the other side.
Yeah, you got to look at yourself every morning when you brush your teeth.
Yeah, but God love everybody. Everybody's got a mortgage to pay. I don't blame anybody for anything.
Homeless people don't. Couch surfers don't.
Well, there's a mortgage of a spiritual kind.
Yeah. Touche, my friend. Touche.
So 272-9228. Very early, obviously. It does feel like, even though it's not that hot today or the last week, and God, the dog days of summer, it does feel like everybody's a little asleep at the wheel in terms of politics. And honestly, I don't blame them.
I think most people, this is the South, man. You had back to school and we got football. So
football is right upon the horizon.
Hey, Alabama named a starting quarterback today.
All right.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. Look out.
Yeah. Were you ever into like the training camp stuff and like go see like the early practice games?
I've never gone to an early practice other than A-Day.
I've been to A-Day
but
once.
That's
I was a
when
kid.
I was a student.
Yeah.
I've never hopped in a car to go to A-Day.
Yeah.
No.
I have no real reason to. If you go with somebody who's a true enthusiast, who's knowledgeable, that sort of stuff can be a lot of fun. Don't get me wrong, but if you're not yourself, or if you're not going with somebody like that,
the kids are what make A-Day, man. Like them being that close to the team, Big Al, Obbs, or whatever y'all call your tiger.
Obby.
Yeah. Obby. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. 272-9228. This part of the program, in fact, the entire hour, brought to you by Alabama Home Mortgage. And there at Alabama Home Mortgage, Kim Williams and Madeline Cannon are ready to help you, whether you're looking to buy a home, want to get in a position at least to purchase that home. Go ahead and get pre-approved by the great folks there at Alabama Home Mortgage if that's what you're looking to do. And if you want to follow through the process, they can walk with you every step of the way. From pre-approval all the way to closing day, things like inspections, things like appraisals, they can help you out as you go through that process. And of course, they can also help you with a great refinance deal. So maybe you want to restructure debt. Could be you took out a second mortgage. Could be you got credit card debt. Could be you don't really have debt issues. You have an overhead problem. Like say you're getting close to retirement or you're in retirement and you want that retirement to last, to be a little more comfortable, a little more room to breathe. Well, they can help you with a great refinance deal, get those monthly overhead costs down a little bit. But of course, you could be wanting to reinvest in that property yourself, your family, whatever your goals. Alabama Home Mortgage can help you with a great refinance deal. So check them out today. You can always call them direct at 567-4223. It's 567-4223. Or apply online at myalabamahomemortgage.com. There is a difference in mortgage companies. Let Kim and Madeline prove that to you today. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender. We'll be right back.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Welcome to Eclectic Coins, Montgomery's largest coin dealer, specializing in buying and selling investment-grade gold and silver coins. And they have a large selection of rare coins and coins from around the world. Visit them at 543 Northeastern Boulevard or on the web at eclecticcoins.com. Eclectic Coins, where collectors who know go.
This is David Ernest from the Health and Wealth Show. We like to cut up and have fun, maybe poke a little fun at some politicians. But we don't take ourselves too seriously. One thing we do take seriously is your personal finances and your plans for retirement. You can tell by listening, we're a little different. Yeah, we like to have a good time on the radio, but we're dead serious about your financial future and helping you achieve your goals. At Ernest Financial, we're committed to giving you the attention you need. We don't treat you like a number. You're way more important to us. At Ernest Financial, it's about helping you today and preparing you for tomorrow. People call us who are on the verge of retirement, and they know they need a plan for the future. No matter where you are in life, Ernest Financial will help guide your every step towards retirement. Give us a call and let us show you what our individual customer attention can do for your future.
Concerned about your retirement? Call David Ernest toll-free at 833-596-7233. That's 833-596-SAFE.
Hi, I'm Jane Ray, account executive with Blue Water Broadcasting. Why should you advertise with us? Radio is an active medium. It can create immediacy, driving shoppers to a specific store, brand, or to take a specific action. Radio ads engage with the audience in a personal and unique way. Contact me, Jane Ray, by going to bluewaterbroadcasting.com to find out more. Blue Water Broadcasting, local folks helping local business.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
Rich Thomas Weather is brought to you by McPhillips Schimbaum.
My name is Aaron Luck, a partner with the law firm of McPhillips Schimbaum. If you or someone in your family has been seriously injured by the negligence of someone else, call me directly.
262-1911. Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. Be flexible with your plans today, especially this afternoon and this evening. Our weather app will keep you on top of the action with Future Radar. Otherwise, no big surprises for August. High temperatures today, 88 to 90 again, near 90 tomorrow. Lows at night will be in the lower 70s. And again, showers and storms each day right on through Thursday, most likely in the afternoon and evening hours, tending to thin out a bit by late week. Fewer storms by Friday and Saturday with highs in the middle 90s by then. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
All the headlines the mainstream media won't touch. Your News Talk station. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Now, this is not that serious. It's just sad, man. Like, especially the people that still go, well, Biden wasn't mentally, like, falling down. Biden was fine.
What, my great-great-grandfather?
Goodness gracious. But unearthed emails as part of a FOIA request show Biden administration agencies scrapping a plan to visit a vessel at an event because it would have required then President Joe Biden to take too many steps. Records show, as part of a FOIA request by Protect the Public's Trust obtained by Fox News Digital that Biden was set to visit a national security multi-mission vessel while touring a Philadelphia shipyard in July of 2023. However, according to the emails, that visit to the vessel was scrapped because of, quote, how many steps were involved to get on the ship. The emails show that the U.S. Maritime Administration was engaged in a major project at the Philly shipyard at the time that Biden was planning to visit to tout offshore wind and clean energy jobs. An official emailed members of the Office of Secure Transportation with the Department of Transportation, CC'd, on July 17, 2023. It said, no visit to the NSMV vessel is planned after the White House realized how many steps were involved to get to the ship and get on the ship. True, a lot of steps, lots of steps on grading. Oh, yeah. So it was like, no, he's fine, but we're worried about the number of steps Pop has to actually take. And you know, these are real concerns as people get older, don't walk as well, backs get tight, hips give out, knees aren't good. But they kept acting like, nah, he's like FDR. He's one of the more forceful presidents we've ever had. I'm like, wait, I thought he was like FDR in other ways.
If you've ever watched the setup before a president comes into town, and what the crew has to do logistically to get set up for it, it's monumental. I mean, truly. I want to know when the official step counter became more of a firm job description for someone, you know, on the staff to make sure that it wasn't, you know, something that might be a bad photo op for the president.
What was the cutoff of the number of steps?
And like, how long ago did this? July 23. So you have to assume at least 6 months before that it was a major concern.
See, in this new day and age, you got to think of stuff that's crazy. You should be like, we have a new president now. It's called Mecha Biden, and just have him in a mech suit. Like, no joke.
Who was the dude from the commercial? Matt's, the old 80s. Like, he's going to be president here soon.
Oh, yeah. I think Idiocracy is proving to be a prophetic film. So, you know, there's that.
Is our fault?
I don't know if it's our fault or if it's something in the water or maybe too many people. This might be it. Maybe the teetotaling boomers are correct, but everybody's getting a little too high on the marijuana. People don't have their wits about them, don't have any more ambition anymore. Well, here is that shiny bastard, Matt Gaetz, praising President Trump for the idea of rescheduling marijuana. Now, marijuana is currently scheduled Schedule 1, which is like the strongest restriction you can have. Now, Matt Gaetz in this little segment I'm about to play makes a lot of points I made yesterday when this news first broke. Trump saying, yeah, we're looking into it, rescheduling this. And it could be a very big deal for a lot of the industry and especially access to, you know, like banking. Right now, still don't have access to banking because of the federal scheduling of the drug, of the plant. So here is Matt Gaetz laying out what he thinks of this consideration by the president and his administration.
Americans love more than low gas prices and a secure border. It's making sure our laws at least make actual sense in the decade in which we live.
Yeah.
Right now, marijuana is categorized Schedule 1. Some of you don't follow federal drug laws like boomers follow the Grateful Dead, so I'll explain. It's the most dangerous category for substances that kill people. That's right. The federal government believes weed is just as bad as heroin and somehow worse than fentanyl. Fentanyl killing almost 200,000 people a year now. Weed kills, like, I don't know, the motivation of a pizza delivery guy, maybe, but that's about it. Rescheduling is the government saying, okay, maybe this isn't the same as crack cocaine, and maybe doctors should be allowed to prescribe it without acting like they're handing out plutonium. And here's the kicker. We already have half the country allowed to use cannabis under the color of state law. States like Florida, California, Colorado, so many others, even red states, they've got dispensaries that look like Apple stores. You walk in and it's like a Genius bar for THC. People are paying taxes on it. Landlords are getting profitable tenants. Jobs are being created. And what's Uncle Sam doing? pretending it's still a cartel product smuggled into the country in a hollowed out coconut. Rescheduling would mean more research, safer products, less of this mystery gummy from Chad's backpack situation. It would also mean banks can actually touch cannabis money without feeling like they're laundering cartel cash. Right now, these businesses are paying employees in envelopes of cash like they're extras in Goodfellas. And if President Trump does this, the game is over for Democrats at the ballot box. We could be the party that allows people to safely use marijuana without pretending it's for your glaucoma-ridden cat. It's populism meets practicality. Suddenly, MAGA hats in line at the dispensary, patriots buying pre-rolls called 1776 Freedom Kush. Beautiful. Now, don't get me wrong. There are still people clutching their pearls saying buying marijuana is a gateway drug. Yeah, so is drinking Mountain Dew if you consume enough of it. In reality, marijuana is more like a gateway to eating 3 sleeves of Oreos and having deep thoughts about how ceiling fans work. If someone's moving onto the hard stuff, it's not because they started with weed. It's because our mental health system is a dumpster fire, and fentanyl is cheaper than Tylenol in some places. Rescheduling also has a law and order angle that nobody talks about. You clear the nonsense marijuana charges out of the system, and you free up the courts, the police, and prisons to deal with actual criminals. I'd rather have the cops chasing MS-13 than some guy in a fish t-shirt growing 3 plants in his garage. And let's not forget, the war on drugs has been a lot like many of the wars America has fought in my lifetime. We have battled for decades in the costliest and deadliest of ways, and the drugs have won. In the war on drugs, drugs won. We've spent billions of dollars locking up nonviolent offenders for possession while ignoring the fact that the fentanyl crisis is pouring over the southern border like it's a Costco free sample day. If Trump reschedules marijuana, he can finally say, we're focusing on the real killers now. And I fixed this ridiculous policy the swamp ignored for half a century. Plus, imagine the trolling value. Every blue state governor who's been preaching legalization for years but never actually fixing anything, Trump can suddenly get it done. CNN's heads will explode. Rachel Maddow will be so triggered, not even the stickiest indica could calm her. The New York Times will run an op-ed titled, "Is Trump doing this just to win?" And the answer will, of course, be yes, and because it is the right thing to do. Here's the reality. America in 2025 is not America in 1970. Back then, weed was tied up with cancel culture, protests, and the smell of Woodstock. Now it's tied up with cancer treatment, PTSD relief for veterans, seizure control for kids, and yes, the guy who occasionally insists he can totally focus better after a hit. If rescheduling means more doctors can explore medical uses without jumping through 12 hoops and 4 DEA inspections, then why wouldn't we do that? The only real argument against it is, well, we've always done it this way. And if we stuck to that logic, we'd still be using rotary phones and thinking that margarine is health food. So here's my pitch. President Trump, reschedule marijuana. Do it big, do it loud. Sign the order with a gold Sharpie, hold it up for the cameras, and say this plant was treated more unfairly than I was. And that's saying something. It's good politics, it's good economics, and it's about time the federal government stopped pretending that Snoop Dogg and El Chapo are in the same business. And if anyone is still clutching their pearls, hand them a CBD gummy and tell them to take a walk.
Well done. I find a little I disagree with there, if any.
Oh, I have a question.
Okay.
Have you ever seen a figure that has what percentage of the cartel's portfolio is actually of marijuana? I have it. So I'm guessing that those guys aren't in the business of losing money.
It was my understanding is it was much higher before a lot of legalization efforts. They moved to other things.
That's my point.
Yeah,
So,
and also though, I'd imagine they're still somewhat wrapped into it because he just mentioned the whole cash economy. You don't have banking access. I think there are probably some illicit players still using fronts.
I would agree with you that they probably are involved in the trade.
Yeah.
So if it's now decriminalized and there's no incentive for them to be in that business and they're still in the profit game, where are they going to turn their endeavors to? So I'm glad that, we take Uncle Joe off the books, who just got, pulled over smoking a doob on some back street. But the cost of where that capital from the drug cartels would go. I don't know how you actually measure that. Is it human trafficking? Is it fentanyl? Because they're not just going to take that loss economically.
I agree with you in general, but I say the decision is much more narrow than that. And it's to the point I was making yesterday, the point you just heard Matt Gaetz make. It doesn't make sense by the metrics and standards of the scheduling of drugs. It doesn't make sense to have marijuana Schedule 1. Makes a heck of a lot more sense to have it Schedule 3 if you're going to have it scheduled at all. In terms of the cartels, too, I think they might have more problems than the rescheduling of marijuana, given Trump has asked for plans to start using violent force against them, has labeled them terrorist groups.
Right.
So,
and I'm all for that. Like,
right.
I mean, the fact that, what is it, about 25% of the country has some sort of a drug problem,
Sure.
whether it's, alcohol or whatever the DOC is. I mean, that's a pretty big, segment of market share there.
Now, of course, new drugs will always crop up. And 2 Texas families are speaking out after losing their sons to a dangerous synthetic opioid up to 43 times more potent than fentanyl, and in some cases resistant to the overdose reversal drug Narcan.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. The drug, known as nitazene, 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 has been linked to multiple deaths in the United States and is now drawing urgent warnings from grieving parents and law enforcement officials. On January 26, 2024, 22-year-old Lukey Reyes McAllister died near Houston after taking what he believed was a Xanax pill. And in so many of these cases, folks, you think it's an overdose. And often people say, it was a drug overdose. Like somebody, say, was hooked on heroin and then gets clean for a little while, goes back out, takes the same amount they once did, and they die. Like, that is an overdose. This kid was engaged in illegal activity, thought, I can just get a Xanax pill to take the edge off. And in that Xanax pill is this new opioid that killed him.
But
that's poisoning.
But it's not, he didn't take a Xanax pill. He took something that was sold
as a Xanax pill, yes.
At probably a convenience store or somewhere that's not.
Or just bought it from somebody.
But if it's the same article or the same substance, I saw that Florida was looking to take something off their shelves that was, the headline said it was 4 or 5 times as addicting as heroin. So I assume it's the same substance.
No. This is, I think, something different. This is 43 times more lethal than fentanyl.
But it's just crazy to me that so many of these things are just packaged and put on the shelves, and the FDA or whomever's in charge of monitoring that, there's no oversight. It's always after they get on the market, after some kid dies, then they look into it.
Yeah, the pill was laced with pyrrolidino protonitazene, a nitazene variant 25 times more lethal than fentanyl. His mother said she had never heard of the drug until her son's death. It took them 7 rounds of Narcan to try to revive him. He did not survive. Less than 3 months later, on April 10th, his friend, 21-year-old Hunter Clement, also died after taking a pill disguised as a Percocet that contained the same nitazene variant. Again, you shouldn't be buying drugs off the street or I'm going to get a loose Xanax or a loose Percocet. But honestly, you take one Percocet, you take a Xanax, you're not going to die from it in most cases. So this is I went and bought it's poisoning.
Yeah.
Now, are you expecting quality control and truth and advertising from the black market drug dealer? No.
Mm-mm.
But also, this is a new thing. This is not something you heard in the 60s and 70s. It's not something you heard in the 90s or when I was coming up into high school and college. It's just not something that was heard of, that all this stuff is laced and being packaged. This guy's mother, Hunter's mother, Ruthie Clement, said she had read about nitazenes weeks before after her son's death and suspected it was the cause. Toxicology results later confirmed it. They were first developed, this particular drug, more than 60 years ago as a potential alternative to morphine, but were never approved for medical use due to the high overdose risk. The DEA reports the synthetic opioids are being produced in clandestine Chinese laboratories and may be entering the U.S. through Mexican drug cartels. So you asked about how does some of the drug cartels make their money. I think some of this is not like the end user, like a traditional market and black market even. I think some of this is they're just getting paid handsomely by certain folks to move this stuff. Like this straight up poison, hybrid warfare. Former DEA Administrator Derek Maltz described the influx as part of China's ongoing attack against America, noting that the drugs are emerging even as fentanyl remains a major threat. Customs officers at New York's JFK Airport are now seizing nitazines at least a few times a week, with quantities ranging from grams to over a pound. In Houston and Harris County, medical examiners have documented at least 4 nitazene-related overdose deaths. Again, these should be called poisonings. Not like, oh, you took too much.
Yeah, that's murder.
Yeah. Traditional toxicology tests do not detect nitazines unless specifically requested. Wow. And local officials say screenings are ordered only when suspected use is present and no other toxicology explains the death. Ruthie Clement recalled finding her son face down in bed, his body cold and discolored. She attempted chest compressions and administered 2 doses of Narcan, but it was not enough. And so these families are now dedicating themselves to raise awareness. And it's stuff like that that's just, it's awful. And like I see the whole argument, the latest stuff that crops up over how should we schedule cannabis or marijuana or whatever. And I'm like, that's the least of our problems. Like you're not dying from cannabis. Even if you're having a bad time, you're not dying from it. You got kids, hundreds of thousands of people over the last few years that are dead because of this stuff being poured in, especially by the Chinese through the southern border. Really awful stuff. That should be the focus of drug enforcement. Stop the poisonings.
Right.
Stop the hybrid war. Like, stop it with the old school conversation we've been having about drugs for a couple generations now that have failed us miserably. And I'm not just talking about like, oh, reefer madness. I'm talking about also the whole prescription thing. How did the opioid crisis begin? Began with legal stuff the doctor gave you.
How many?
It's a mess.
How many politicians you ever see give a contribution from a pharmaceutical company that?
Oh yeah. Well, and then also Xanax is no joke. Benzos are no joke. Klonopin, Xanax, all these things. Like people who maybe do need the edge taken off. They have some ridiculous anxiety for whatever reason. You still can get hooked on these things, and they're one of the more dangerous things to get off of. The withdrawal risk are very real with those things. And again, all this stuff's legal.
Alcohol and benzos, to my knowledge, are the only 2 things that will kill you from withdrawals.
Yeah. So I hope Trump and his team reschedule cannabis and then continue the fight on the stuff that's actually killing people. That should be the focus, in my humble opinion.
So in rescheduling, and I apologize if you said this, was it just complete decriminalization, or was it just lowering it to
schedule? I could look it up. Schedule 1 to Schedule 3 is what they're saying. Schedule 1 says no valid medical use. No, these are just bad for you. They'll kill you, son.
Why even go to 3? Why not just decriminalize it if you're going to move it from 1 to 3?
Because they can make a straight up argument it's still a psychoactive substance.
Yeah, but I would argue that you remove the profit from a lot of people if you just decriminalize it.
Maybe. I think there are a lot of companies ready to go either way. They just want to get off the Schedule 1 so they get, again, the banking access and stuff. It'll be fascinating to watch play out. But I think that needs to be changed up. And to me, it's not even controversial. And I think some of this is a bit of a generational thing. People are not used to it, and thus, because it's so foreign, they've never touched it, never really even smelled it. Or maybe they just don't like it. Maybe they've tried and just don't like it, that they're sticking to their guns. But we'll see as it plays out. But I appreciate Matt Gaetz' take on all this.
He's got a very punchable face, by the way.
He does. He's a Batman villain. I'm going to get you, Batman. Like, I could see Gaetz saying that exactly. Like, throw it up on the screen.
See, I think he's probably more like an extra in a Hannibal Lecter film. Like, that dude's creepy, man.
No, I'm sorry. Matt Gaetz could be the best Joker since Heath Ledger. Seriously, put some face paint on him, give him a stupid laugh.
give him a bucket and a bottle of lotion.
Oh, you think he's got like people down in the basement?
I mean, I can see him putting on some lipstick, looking in the mirror, creepy.
Anyway, we got to hit this break. First, this part of the program brought to you by Pest Pro Services and their Pest Pro. Ashley and that great team are ready to help you out with any and all of your pest control needs. Could be you just need a great local pest control company that you trust. Local in the sense that when you spend money with them, that money stays in the local community. Local in the sense that they support local athletics, local schools, local nonprofits, other small businesses in their area. That's Pest Pro Services. And of course, they do a great job, whether you're starting off with just basic pest control service, or you want to add to that annual termite inspections, year-round termite protection, add to that mosquito protection, where you actually want to enjoy your property. No mosquitoes will be bugging you after Pest Pro comes by. And of course, you want to treat the yard, maybe to protect those dogs. You don't want those dogs trekking in a bunch of fleas and ticks. They can do all of this for you there at Pest Pro Services. If you want to learn more, you can always go to ppsriverregion.com or just search Pest Pro Services on the Book of Faces. Call them direct, 265-9990. That's 265-9990. When you want to know, call a pro, Pest Pro Services, and be sure to tell Ashley, that great team that Joey, that fell on the radio, sent you.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Want that ride that is fun, affordable, and street legal? Check out ETG Outdoors in Montgomery. They have huge discounts on electric golf carts with many brand new units under 10 grand. New and used inventory, financing available, and they service what they sell. ETG Outdoors even provides lithium battery conversions and free delivery with purchase. Whether it's for the neighborhood, the farm, or just fun, ETG Outdoors, 7006 Vaughn Road, or online at etgoutdoors.com. Cruise smarter, drive electric. ETG Outdoors, your ride to freedom starts here.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
We get Montgomery talking 24 hours a day. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Let's go right to the phones. Talk to Chris. Hey, Chris, how you doing?
You get a lot of phone calls when you start talking about weed, right?
I've noticed this. I'm trying to bring up serious issues like the court decisions that could change the electoral map, Barry Moore getting in the Senate race. As soon as I start talking about pot, the phones ring.
That's right, of course. Hey, well, I was going to tell you, the weird part about these designer drugs or designer things that are coming out, have you noticed I call it gas station drugs or whatever?
Oh, yeah, man.
And, yeah, I mean, it's all sorts of weird stuff. Now, and I don't know if, Alabama was so far behind the Delta 9 stuff and all that, Delta 8, Delta 9, that they're probably going to miss the boat on this. You can go to gas stations now, you can buy magic mushrooms.
Yeah, but not the good ones.
Yeah, but I mean, still. But see, what's going to happen, that stuff's going to grow, and then the legislature in 2-3 years, like, oh, gosh, we got to do something about this.
Yeah, I see what you mean. They're always behind on the latest thing that's out there.
Always behind, man. Always behind. And there's some drink people with that kratom or kratom, whatever it is in it. Yeah, I mean, it's just all this crap that, you don't even know, you have no idea where it's coming from.
Yeah, no, and I would not advise buying anything like that from a convenience store or gas station, or especially not the liquor store, package store. Like, don't do that. Stupid.
You want some kratom and a 40?
Right. Boy, you just ate some crack.
Can I get a Colt 45 and kratom, please?
Yeah. The dirty secret, too, is about all the drugs coming over is, we think of the southern border, but from what I've been reading, Canada's virtually a narco state, too.
Yeah.
They're bringing a lot of this stuff in to produce, to make, synthetic heroin or fentanyl and stuff like that. And it's being made up in the mountains in Canada by people most likely illegals, and they're producing it, and now that's slipping in over the border of Canada. So Canada really is no friend of America when it comes to that.
And apparently, since the southern border's been shut, there's been a lot more activity on the northern border.
Yeah. So, and then, of course, their government's not too fond of us anyways. And I think a lot of those politicians up there, you see the way they act, you're like, man, they're probably owned by the CCP anyways.
Yeah, I'm a little disappointed in our neighbors to the north, but they're nice enough, I suppose. But
yeah, I remember the good old days where they were real quiet and they had SCTV and Great White North and all that kind of stuff. That's what they had hockey, and Molson. But now they're just nothing but a narco state. But also too on the legalization of marijuana. The problem is, especially when you start having like cards and you have your own, so you can go to a dispensary and buy it.
Sure.
The problem you got now is if you own a firearm, you sign the document. I forgot the name of it exactly, but you sign a document stating you've never used or don't currently use marijuana, and it's specifically on it.
Oh.
And my fear about that is that opens up a lot of problems. Even like here in the state of Alabama, we have a lot of people own guns here, right? So you're going to run out and go get you a license so you can, or whatever it is, so you can. But now you're on the list, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my fear is a cross reference on that, and they go, oh, by the way, maybe you don't have a Donald Trump that's the president, or you have a attorney general that's a little bit more aggressive. Oh, look, I see, Mr. Clark, you have a firearm, and you're also have a marijuana card. You're actually in violation of federal law.
Well, and I believe, I don't know, I'm guessing here, but I believe that if they rescheduled it, that question will go away.
That's that was my point. Yeah, exactly. So if they do reschedule it, that would be taken off. But also too, and I'll get off the phone, alcohol probably has damaged and killed more people in the world than any drug.
Correct. Absolutely.
It rots you away. It's terrible for your body. Long term, it just damages everything, from your skin to your liver. And so, the argument about, like the old days, like you're talking about older people, like, oh, I can't believe you smoke marijuana. Meanwhile, this is my third bourbon drink I've had today. So, it's just kind of a weird oxymoron there. So, but those are my 2 cents. But yeah, the Canadians are nothing but a CCP narco state. And the quicker we can straighten it up there, it'd be better.
Well, I appreciate it, Chris. Good call, man.
Yeah, you have a good one.
We got to hit our top of the hour break. Final hour coming up.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. The United States and China have extended a trade truce for another 90 days. The latest development in a months-long showdown between the two economic powerhouses. The pause, which clears the way for a possible meeting later this year between President Trump and Chinese President Xi Jinping, is the latest development in a high-stakes back and forth of tariff threats and negotiations. A South Korean court has ordered the arrest of the wife of jailed former President Yoon Suk-yeol as investigators in that country seek to charge her over various suspected crimes that include bribery, stock manipulation, and meddling in the selection of a political candidate. On Wall Street, stocks are in record territory. The Dow up 484 points, the Nasdaq adding 275, and the S&P up 67. This is SRN News.
Hi, it's Mike Gallagher. You work hard, you build wisely, your home has become one of your greatest assets. If you're staying put this summer, this might be the perfect time to put that equity to work, whether it's funding a second home, helping your kids get their start, or simply creating more margin in your financial life. Mike and Brian at Fellowship Home Loans are the only ones I trust to guide you through it. They've done loans for my family. They tailor every loan to fit your goals. Fellowship is a direct lender and operates with your best interest in mind. If you're looking to access your equity through a refi or exploring a HELOC for some cash this summer for a second property, or maybe tackle those updates you've been putting off, start with people you trust, people I trust. Go to fellowshiphomeloans.com/Mike G, fellowshiphomeloans.com/Mike G, or call 800-510-MIKE, 800-510-6453. Fellowship Home Loans, mortgage lending by the book.
Nationwide Mortgage Bankers, DBA Fellowship Home Loans, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS number 8193.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network, brought to you by Alabama Wholesale Lumber. Alabama Wholesale Lumber, serving the river region with the best quality building materials for decades. Contractor to do-it-yourselfer. Call Alabama Wholesale Lumber.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. Be flexible with your plans today, especially this afternoon and this evening. Our weather app will keep you on top of the action with Future Radar. Otherwise, no big surprises for August. High temperatures today, 88 to 90 again, near 90 tomorrow. Lows at night will be in the lower 70s. And again, showers and storms each day right on through Thursday, most likely in the afternoon and evening hours, tending to thin out a bit by late week. Fewer storms by Friday and Saturday with highs in the middle 90s by then. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
You can make your ASE loan payment from your phone anytime, anywhere. It's quick and easy. YourASECreditUnion.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal Opportunity Lender.
ASE Credit Union. Your life, your cause, your ASE.
1819 News.
U.S. Senator Tommy Tuberville spoke to the Dothan Rotary Club this past Monday. One issue brought up by Tuberville was the effort by the Obama administration to help Hillary Clinton in the 2016 presidential election by manufacturing lies about Russia wanting to aid Trump in that election. Tuberville says that Clinton, Obama, and all the other people involved in this effort are crooks and should be in jail. Tuberville says too many politicians have acted with impunity, believing they can get away with whatever they want to do to their political opponent. Tuberville has spoken directly with President Trump and members of his cabinet, urging them all to go for full indictments and jail time for these people. Tuberville says that is exactly why Americans reelected Trump to the White House, to regain the people's trust in government. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
Some of the greatest blessings is just having people that care about you, to have someone that's just going to love you and make you feel important. They encourage you to be in church. They encourage you to be in prayer. They encourage you to be in your Bible. Now it's a part of my day every day. My house parents planted seeds in me that you can see where those seeds have sprouted in my life and helped change my life.
Big Oak Ranch, a Christian home for children needing a chance.
Swedish-based furniture company IKEA has announced plans to build its first ever store here in Alabama. The location of that store will be in Huntsville at the University Place Shopping Center. Doors should open up to that 46,000 square foot store in 2026. IKEA is known for its showcasing of fully furnished rooms that can then be purchased on the spot in boxes and taken away by the customer. A shooting occurred on Monday night in the entertainment district of Mobile. 2 men had to be hospitalized with gunshot wounds. No suspects have been identified by police at this time. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's Conversational Radio Show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Before we get into the next part of the show, final hour here, Byron She, thankfully in the studio. Again, this part of the program brought to you by Josh and Leslie Ryder there at Dillon Rings. Y'all keep saying those prayers for Leslie. Josh has put out an update earlier today. She's leaving the ICU. She's doing better in small steps, step by step, each day by day. But business must continue. They're now open. Dillon Rings is open for business this week. So stop by there. See Josh. At least give him a hello and a little bit of a pick-me-up. But they need prayers more than anything. And, of course, if you're interested in all the great things they have to offer there at Dillon Rings, from repairs and spa treatments, custom design work, to the great inventory and selections they have, they can help you out at Dillon Rings. Just stop by today, 119 Brown Springs Road. And be sure to tell Josh that Joey, that fellow on the radio, sent you. Let's go to Randall. Hey, Randall, how you doing?
I'm about it, fellas.
What's up, man?
All right.
I'm much, man. And this is kind of piggyback off Chad talking about. I've been hollering about the North Border for a long time, and the main reason is because the Aqua Sawnee Mohawks reservation it goes from New York to Artani, or it goes to New York and Quebec on both sides. Like, it's connected. You could just walk through, and there's nothing that stops from. That's where I think the head people like ISIS were bringing people through it. I mean, the real ones that the real bad ones were coming through the Indian reservation, and it's kind of hard to think that I would let that happen. But man, if you just if you go up there and see here in New York how many safe places they got, it makes sense, man, that they coming through there. And then on to the about the marijuana thing before I get to the fentanyl. The judges, if they do get it sent down like that, get it dropped down to a lower level, the judges, it won't add up as much on somebody's time. Like, the judges use a numbering system to lock, to put bonds on people. If the number adds up so much, that's why you see somebody who killed somebody got out with a small bond, and somebody who got caught with drugs, which was not the first time, has a bond of $1 million because they have been caught so many times and the numbers are added up.
Okay.
And so, but on the carfentanil, that's the most dangerous drug we got in the United States. It's 10,000 times more potent than morphine. And it ain't no joke, man. You touch it, and you dead. If you put it in your mouth, you dead. If you let it go through your skin, you might make it. And I mean, it's
well, and think about the folks that don't die when they take it. Like, the amount of use of other opioids they had to take to build up to that tolerance level, to where you're taking the amount an elephant might take. They're already in misery if they got to that point.
Yeah, that's you right about the elephant part, because that's what they use this for. I can't believe you said that. They use it for elephants and rhinoceros and stuff and putting them down. And so that's what the main drug. That's what the drug's main use for. But that ain't what people play with it for. And I just it's one of them bad things that I think about police every day having to stick their hand up under the seat just to search somebody's car and hit that, man. That ain't no joke. But anyway, fella, man, I enjoyed the conversation. I know I got all tongue-tied a while ago.
Oh, no, good, man.
I couldn't even get the words out. I had it all planned out, make it sound so good and sweet. But anyway, thank y'all, man.
Appreciate it, Randall. 272-9228. That's 334-272-9228. Now, let's move on to something that you were asking about when you saw it on my list here.
Love nerding out to this stuff, man.
Yeah, let's be a little nerdy here. So, like, I don't know if I actually qualify as a nerd, though. I always think of a nerd as like, my numbers.
Yeah,
Like-
but anytime I go down a rabbit hole, I call it nerding out. Like,
Yeah, the nerding out. Yeah.
obsessing over something.
Well, I guess it depends on my self-love and self-image of that day. Am I a nerd? Am I a dork? Am
Don't
I a
be a dork.
schmuck?
Nerds are cool, dorks aren't cool.
Right. I mean, an a-hole. It depends on when I look in the mirror and what I call myself. Face. Anyway, this is a guy, we've played him before. You should know him, named Eric Weinstein. And he has long talked about how progress in science, in particular, the holy grail of science, in big physics, in theories of the very big and theories of the very small, they have hit a dead end. And as we continue to talk about a lot of the AI stuff, and I believe Mark Andreessen, the investor, put it out there that, people in the government said, oh yeah, we've been classifying whole bodies of science in physics for a long time. Ever since there were the breakthroughs with the bomb, there's certain things you're going to get a visit from folks, even if you figure it out by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'll let Weinstein lay out his case. It's a fascinating one. I think the basic concept is if you take very smart people and you encourage them to go and succeed down the wrong road, that's a great way of keeping things under wraps. You give people motivation to do their level best down a certain line of inquiry, a certain road, and no matter how good they do, no matter how good they are at navigating that road, they're still going in the wrong direction.
Just from the funding, like there's so much money to pull them in the wrong direction.
It's a little bit of funding. It's also social pressure. It's controls of chairs at universities. Yes, money's a big part of it, but it's also the institutional control around this. That includes the United States government and some of the most secretive aspects of the United States government. So here's Eric Weinstein laying out his case.
That the culmination of all human theory about the base reality stagnated abruptly and mysteriously in 1973. Imagine that physics stopped when Crocodile Rock was top of the charts. Everything we know about the physical universe at its deepest level is on this slide in front of you, and it hasn't moved. Now, recently, many of you have seen that Mark Andreessen had a meeting at the White House, and at that meeting, something fantastic was revealed. The Biden White House told him that they had stagnated deliberately fields of theoretical physics. Read that quote. It should send chills down your spine.
Here's what that quote says, for those of you just out there listening. This is Mark Andreessen after meeting with the Biden White House. They, the Biden White House, literally said, well, during the Cold War, we classified entire areas of physics and took them out of the research community. And entire branches of physics basically went dark and didn't proceed. And that if we decide we need to, we're going to do the same thing to AI. Keep going, Weinstein.
This graph shows the youngest living Nobel laureate in theory, in theoretical physics theory. That number is always below the age of 50 until this magical point where string theory enters the game as a theory of quantum gravity. And our youngest living Nobel laureate is now over the age of 70 because the field is not producing new results.
And especially for folks out there who aren't all that into science, I'm sure you still consume popular culture. How long have you been hearing about string theory? In the latest Nova episode, or the latest Neil deGrasse Tyson explanation, or Sean Carroll's explanation? But I've heard about it since I've been alive.
Yeah.
String theory is on the cutting edge, and it's all these different great visual displays and graphics to kind of lay out the idea. But we just keep hearing about it. But where are the results? Well, there really haven't been. That's amazing that it used to be under 50 for most of the history of modern science. Your Nobel Prize winners are under 50 years old. And now the youngest is 70 something since the 1970s, but we'll let Weinstein keep going here.
This is also terrible, but it turns wonderful because if we can find the problem, we can make progress and reach the stars. Change AI to physics, technology to science, and startups to alternative theories in reading the following quote, and you will see what they did. They took a couple of theories, they cocooned them, string theory being preeminent among them, and they said all competitor theories will die, and in the field of physics, it's called the only game in town. You try to do something else, your career comes to an abrupt end. Now, how do you fool the world's smartest people into a soft sunset? A soft sunset is one where you decommission something, but you don't tell the people being decommissioned that their careers are coming to an end. You get them to repeat something over and over again, that quantum gravity is the holy grail. Quantum gravity is the holy grail. All the questions center on what is the theory of quantum gravity. Quantum gravity is the holy grail of theoretical physics. You perseverate. And if you say something enough times, it becomes as if true. But if it was the holy grail, why is there no mention of it in the corpus of English language books before 1972, right before physics stagnated? It is because there is no theory of quantum gravity in the way that they're looking for it. Quantum gravity is safe. You can invite your Iranian and your North Korean and your Russian and your Chinese students to do quantum gravity, and nobody's going to get hurt.
This is fascinating.
Now, here are my final thoughts. In November of '52, there's an error in this. We learned that Earth is our womb, not our home. We cannot stay here because we have to go. We cannot all share one atmosphere safely. The tools are too powerful. If an indefinite human future can be restored, and I believe that it can, there is one way out, and that's physics. And Mike Lazaridis, if you're out there somewhere, thank you for building the Perimeter Institute of Theoretical Physics to do this. I'm sorry it got taken over by quantum gravity. We have to go beyond Einstein because we are simply not capable of getting to the stars if we have a speed limit set at c. Western science must lead the way. Vivek Ramaswamy is convinced that somehow China and India are pulling ahead of the West. This is not true. The greatest threat comes from France, the world's greatest mathematicians. If we are prepared to take on India and China, are we prepared to take on Paris and Marseille? I put this to you. I believe that the end of physics is almost in sight. It may bring us wonders. It may bring us the ability to traverse the cosmos. This could be the greatest time. We have a brief period of vitality before the wars will surely start if we choose to revitalize. We must use it well, and our greatest challenges are ahead, but I think we're going to make it, and I think that the future will be amongst the stars and be glorious indeed. Thank you all very much.
Like I said, fascinating. And, you know, it's like in almost every field, like everybody's got a story from their own field, and it could be the most complex, like pretty difficult to understand stuff like theoretical physics, the rarefied air of theoretical physics. Like how many people on Earth actually understand that stuff? You probably get them in one room. Easy.
What was the event in '73 or the discovery?
The breakthrough was string theory and like the quantum gravity. The Holy Grail is figuring out quantum gravity.
Right, but he's saying that's where they were being pushed into.
Yes.
So
because since that time, they haven't solved it.
So what was the competing, what were other physicists at the time working on that would cause the government to want to push people into one direction versus what Friedman or some of those other people were working on around that time?
Well, that's the trick. We don't know.
Right.
It's not necessarily publicly available. I mean, it's been out there that they have essentially have warp technology, like able to transport things very quickly, instantaneously across what seems like large distances in our normal experience.
We just saw some of that with the instant computing, the quantum, you know, where it was whatever second fastest thing other than light that was ever transmitted.
And then there's a lot of talk about like the UAPs. This overlaps with some of that technology.
Like the Mantra, yeah.
Or like planes disappearing out of nowhere, and you never were able to find out like where did it go. That's an odd occurrence. So the idea is like, okay, if we put that under wraps, maybe we still progress, but it's not out there in our universities. His point about it's safe for a Russian, a Chinese, a North Korean, an Iranian to try to quantize gravity. Like nobody's going to make some huge breakthrough that could destroy, essentially destroy the deterrence of nukes. Like if you do have these capabilities beyond what is publicly known about physics, you would be able to destroy somebody even if they had a nuclear arsenal.
Yeah, I mean, you could completely run the world. I mean, you would disarm everyone. There would be no lot that was safe.
Right. And so, maybe Weinstein's just caught up in conspiracy and all this stuff. I don't think so. I think he's onto something here. But it could be. Maybe we're just dumb. We got so far, and you just can't go any further.
There's a pretty cool clip. It might have been a Rogan segment that he did, but he's basically, they sent out a survey to the top physicists around the world saying, if you thought that another group of physicists were working on some secret, super cool project, what field or what issue do you think it would cover? And from that, he kind of developed a list of where sort of the black book science that the governments are conducting, where he thinks, we actually are at this point, based on some of those scientists, their responses. And that was pretty impressive.
There's so much that we don't know. People say, I want to drain the swamp, want to destroy the deep state. It's like, I don't know if you know how deep this goes.
Listen, man, I had a boss who was on the Select Intelligence Committee, and he made a trip out west whenever he got appointed to the committee. And about the time he went for retirement, he got debriefed. So he made 2 trips over about a 12, 14-year period. Obviously couldn't disclose anything like that. Allegedly, someone asked, what can you say? And he's like, all I can say is whatever you have in your mind, you're about 30, 35 years behind the curve. And I was like, that's good enough for me, man.
Heads up. Let's go to line 1. You're on there. Who's this?
Hey, Joey, you keep doing your imitation of Spock, Mr. Spock.
Yeah?
You know what word you keep saying?
What word?
Was it amazing or fascinating?
Fascinating, yes.
Fascinating, yes. You know what? Star Trek was so far ahead of its time. Let's look at it this way, okay? They were able to transport and retransport solid biological or solid mechanical objects on their transporter.
Yep.
Okay. Who's thinking that far ahead? You know what I'm saying? I was like, these people talking about it, and what do they call it the black hole or whatever, black matter, what they call it now,
Mm-hmm.
Well, didn't Star Trek have the Jim? I'm crossing the antipodes. I'm giving us these God.
Right. Oh yeah. No, and it's kind of a theme actually in science that before scientists ever do the math and actually figure things out, often there are artists, writers, poets, all sorts of the artists tend to sort of figure things out without fully figuring it out, but they give a model that somebody could actually fill in and actually make work.
I mean, they were so creative ahead of their time. I don't think they realized it.
Oh, right. And you look also now like how far advanced we are, especially from the original series, like the whole, like the tricorder thing and like the communication stuff seems so futuristic. And now we're like, everybody's got that.
And it's been reported we have like laser guns too. So we got our own phasers. We got it. We're good to go.
Or look at the insights of like Kubrick and Space Odyssey. Like, I mean, there's a lot of like artists who are very smart folks. What was it? Was it Michael Crichton or Clancy who essentially predicted 9/11? That some sort of event could Crichton. Yeah. Like, and so he's called in. Like, how did you come up with this? And so you'll find on some of these like brainstorming sessions, the government will invite a novelist, people that can think in a multi-dimensional way, like very creative out of the box ways, because who knows what's possible, and you got to imagine it before you can go for it.
Yeah, but to see it to come into magnification, that to be able to look at something. I mean, you're just talking up a good little story, with a couple drinks in your hand, and 20 years later, man, it's actually being made.
Yeah.
When it was just supposed to be a movie prop. I thought the transporter was the coolest thing. I mean, come on, man, they transported everything, man. People, man, and then they try to reorganize their molecules and their DNA together. Sometimes it's one thing on the show. I was waiting for one day in the show to be able to and bring one back and didn't quite organize it correctly. What I mean?
Well, and like I will say, folks think things like pornography's bad now. Wait till you get a holodeck. What was Riker, Commander Riker, doing in that place all the time?
He did spend a lot of time there.
I know. Like, yeah, he's like, man, I'm having a bad day. You'll find me in the holodeck.
Hey, and what did his boss say? Make it so, number one.
Oh, God.
I
Anyway.
thought, no, but it's funny how just thoughts and just actually comes. I mean, they're talking about things that would no way in hell could happen. Okay, and now, I mean, I think transporters are only a matter of time.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you. And I think also everything that we see publicly is not the depth of what has actually been figured out.
Well, a friend of mine works on Air Force One. What he used to is the 3 years special duty assignment, right? And you know what he told me? The same thing that he told me about on top of the White House. You know what they have up there, don't you? The Air Force One's got lasers underneath the bottom of the belly.
Lasers?
I said, laser guns, yeah. To the firing a missile, you know, and flak, you know, frack and everything when it starts to explode, and rockets will go after the hot ones, you know, flares, you know. He says now they've got actually real lasers that can just track things and shoot them down. He says Air Force One is unfreaking believable security-wise.
Oh yeah, like I said, there's a lot we don't know, but what's cool is it seems like the curtain is being pulled back whether folks like it or not. And maybe all the UFO, UAP stuff and all the weirdness that's being thrown out there is sort of just priming the pump, getting people.
Oh, would they explain to people from being so fast and speed and everything? Was there multi-dimensional dimensions?
Yeah. No, and
that
actually,
makes sense, that
Weinstein has his own theory that would be a multi-dimensional one.
really.
And
I think
it
that's
goes
actually-
beyond me. It's beyond me. The best metaphor he kind of used is like, think of like a record on a turntable, vinyl record. And if you want to listen through the whole record, you just set it on the first groove and it goes linear. It goes through the grooves and it goes through that process.
Yep.
And that's how we normally get through time and space. Imagine if you could have a similar effect of moving in time and space, and how you move the arm over and you go to the right groove to a particular song. You just jump over that linear progression into a different spot, and maybe you could do that in our world.
What movie is that? It's really good. It's got Jennifer Gardner on it, and the planet's going to destroy itself, and her father has to take off, and he travels through different ways of dimension. And then he comes back home and tries to talk to her by moving inanimate objects, by talking to her.
Oh, no, that's Interstellar, yeah.
That movie is so interesting, I'm telling you.
Christopher Nolan, great movie. Yeah.
It's a great movie because you sit there and watch it and you're like, that actually makes sense and the possibilities there. All right, man. Appreciate you taking my call.
Appreciate it, Soldier Boy. Other than, he sucked into a black hole and all of a sudden he's a man through time and space and multiple dimensions. And then you get the time loops of like, wait, the thing that sent him, like, it gets a little weird. And love is at the center of the universe. Love is at the center of black holes. I'm not in the mood for that.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Here at Adams Drugs, we let our customers do the talking. I'm here with Ronnie Taunton, who was a longtime customer of Adams Drugs, moved away for 3 years, and came back to town recently. Ronnie, what did you do for another pharmacy when you moved out of town?
When we moved to Fairhope, we were looking for a local. We did not want to go to a big box store. And we did find one, but the service was not up to par. Adams Drug really spoiled us.
What was it like to come back to Adams Drugs again?
It was very easy. We picked up the phone when we got back, came up to Prattville and called the branch there in Prattville, and they took that phone call and did the rest of it. We didn't have to do a thing. It was very simple. We're glad to be back with them. They're so efficient and customer service oriented.
Come in to any of our 12 Adams Drugs locations. Visit us at adamsdrugs.net to find the location nearest you. Adams Drugs is your independently owned Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
Hi, it's Jonathan Cotton with the Good Feet Store. When your feet aren't properly supported, it can affect your whole body, your back, your ankles. You might be thinking there's no way something as simple as Good Feet arch supports can help me. Well, that's exactly what Bill thought.
My feet would just ache, my back would hurt, my ankles, everything just hurt. And I'd seen the commercial several times before I finally said, I'm going to do this. And I'll be darned if it didn't work. I feel a million times better than I ever did.
Visit the Good Feet Store for a free fitting and test walk. If you want to live free from pain, come visit the Good Feet Store and take the first step towards a more comfortable, healthier you. Wendy's experience might inspire you too.
Since wearing my arch supports from the Good Feet Store, my back pain is gone and my feet don't hurt as much. And as I look into the future without pain, I see myself being even more adventurous, joyful, and full of possibility.
Visit goodfeet.com to book your appointment today.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
Hello, everyone. Robbie Pelt with Capital City Roofing. If you think about it, your home is your biggest investment in life. Your roof covers your home, so why jeopardize your biggest investment on a roofer you don't know anything about when you can deal with a reputable roofing company like Capital City Roofing? We have an A+ Better Business rating and the best manufacturers and workmanship warranties available. We do all residential and commercial roofing applications that are certified through the manufacturer to ensure you get the best material and workmanship money can buy. We also have your project in our best interest before and after construction has been done. Don't hesitate to call us if you have any roofing issues or questions. We will match any of our competitors' price and give you the same great workmanship warranty. We also give free estimates. Give us a call today and let us show you the difference. 277-3311. That's 277-3311. Or you can check us out on the web at www.capitalcityroofing.com. Capital City Roofing. We capitalize the roofing industry.
At Guardian Credit Union, if it's important to you, it's important to us. We don't do banking differently. We do relationships differently. Want to secure a HELOC for home projects? So do we. Want to build your credit? So do we. Want to plan your next vacation? So do we. We're here to help with whatever's next, because whatever you want in life, so do we. Stop by any of our branches and let's plan your next step together. Guardian Credit Union, where you belong. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity, NMLS 912757.
Hi, I'm Brian McMahon with Turf Stalkers. Within a few months of advertising with Blue Water, our customer base doubled. If you're looking for similar results, we highly recommend advertising with Blue Water.
Our advertisers are our biggest advocates. Call us to find out how radio can increase your bottom line. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network is brought to you by Earnest Financial.
If you're tired of losing your money in the stock market, call David Earnest, 334-279-7431. Earnest Financial, LLC.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. Be flexible with your plans today, especially this afternoon and this evening. Our weather app will keep you on top of the action with Future Radar. Otherwise, no big surprises for August. High temperatures today, 88 to 90 again, near 90 tomorrow. Lows at night will be in the lower 70s. And again, showers and storms each day right on through Thursday, most likely in the afternoon and evening hours, tending to thin out a bit by late week. Fewer storms by Friday and Saturday with highs in the middle 90s by then. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Budget Floors and More has the best prices. Carpet as low as 69 cents per square foot. LVP starting at $1.29 a square foot. Sheet vinyl as low as 65 cents per square foot. And the lowest prices on flooring installation supplies. Budget Floors and More across from Del Rey to Publix.
If it concerns your community, you'll hear about it on News Talk 93.1. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Welcome back. Now, I got a question for you.
Shoot.
Would you rather have 300 grand to start a business or a college degree from the University of Virginia?
300 grand.
Yeah. All day, every day.
Huh.
And apparently a new stat came out saying trade school grads make 11 grand more per year than college grads. And in fact, most of the jobs out there that are currently available, but just sitting there open, have a lot to do with trade skills, a lot less to do with that degree that I don't even hang mine on the wall. I saw it today in my closet on the floor.
I think mine's on the wall.
Yeah, I've moved enough and
I
I forget about it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's okay. But the amount of money that it costs to go to these prestigious places, like that is unreal. Now, this is from a guy named Michael Walsh writing for thepipeline.org. And college, who needs it? As I pointed out in this recent column, the idea that possession of a college degree will ensure that you get a good job is the global warming version of self-refuting assertions. Provably false by the shortest possible historical glance, it is nevertheless a lie that has been told for at least half a century, retailed in large part by the professoriate and administrators at universities all over the land. Many called into being or fulfillment by the sudden arrival of the baby boomers who hit the beaches in kindergarten, practically invented high schools, and then stormed the citadels of higher education and overwhelmed grad schools starting in the 1960s. Yeah, and you start to see like this change in folks going, maybe all this money we saved up for the kid would go a heck of a lot better if we just invested.
I can't remember who it was.
And
but
continued to invest.
They pointed out, like, would you take out the same amount of student loans if you didn't think about it from you were investing in your education, but you were taking the loan out against yourself as a business?
Right.
Like
Right.
putting it from that vantage point, I think a lot of kids would, have a better understanding of what they were actually trying to accomplish when they went off to college.
And the U.S. Department of Labor just put out this chart. Again, apprentices make about, on average, $80,000 a year. College graduates, right out the bat, $69,000 a year. And man, that's a low number if you took out a bunch of money to go to school. I have people in the family who are doctors, and they're still young doctors. They're still working their way up. They got a crap load of debt. But there is a very clear business plan, essentially. Oh, once I become a fellow at the, once I become this or this or that, we're good.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a plan to pay it off. In certain jobs, it makes a lot of sense to, especially you pay that money for the grad school. You're going to go to this particular gig. Okay. But generally speaking, you don't need that at all.
I think the phase of your college was an opportunity. Like you were guaranteeing yourself an opportunity economically afterwards. Whereas today, I'm not so certain that same opportunity is there for every college graduate. I mean, that's just kind of the rub.
I think you're onto something. Before I go to, I've got a clip here of Senator Kennedy.
Yeah.
In the great state of Louisiana, really just flabbergasted by some of the actions done by the Biden administration on the way out the door, in particular with the Department of Energy. I'm just checking 1819 News real quick here. See if anything big or breaking. You have the police chief there in Leeds over this story of a illegal immigrant being arrested after a traffic stop. Headline reads, "She did this maliciously." Leeds Police Chief Paul Irwin blast AL.com reporter for pushing false narrative with ICE arrest.
Maliciously.
Yeah, the original article claimed that Martinez was stopped on Interstate 20 last week by a Leeds police officer for going 1 mile per hour over the speed limit, quoting a GoFundMe account for Martinez. Dashcam footage of the traffic stop later showed that Martinez was going at least up to 91 miles per hour and erratically changing lanes.
Yeah, like, I mean, I don't always get a speed limit, but like, generally speaking, like, I like on the interstate, I like to be able to pass people, speed up, but then get into a normal spot. But if you're like really hauling and you're switching around lanes and all, yeah, that's going to catch a lot of people's attention.
This reporter's got way too much time on their hands if this is the hill that they want to die on.
The chief, Irwin, was quick to criticize the outlet last week, lamenting that the reporter, Heather Gann, did not reach out for comment as AL.com usually does. I'm not familiar with Miss Gann, Heather Gann. On Tuesday, Irwin suggested that Gann's report was done maliciously to paint a picture of law enforcement in a bad light. He added that despite all the pushback he and his department have received over the incident with Martinez, would not stop them from doing their jobs. Interesting.
You know, there's so many false claims of people being upset, and it's AI chatbots, you know, just sending a comment to someone's social media account.
Yeah.
If you don't put your name on something, John Q. Public, with your address at this point, like, you don't have very much credibility.
Yeah. This part of the program brought to you by Montgomery Men's Health. And if you're a fellow out there and you don't feel yourself, this is not normal. Like, you're always cranky, brain fog, sluggish, tired. You're never in the mood. No libido to speak of. No life force, literally. Well, it doesn't have to be this way. It's not just part of getting older. It's not part of aging. Low energy and performance issues are inevitable. They have solutions there at Montgomery Men's Health that are a lot better than those generic pills you can get, and they're expensive and it may work, may not. No, at Montgomery Men's Health, there's no guesswork, no gimmicks, just real science and effective treatments. Meet up with the urologist providers there today, and they will tailor solutions specifically to your body and goals. And the consultation, including blood work, just $99 with results before you leave. You got one life, gentlemen. Act now. Procrastination, it's only going to make this worse. And hey, you don't have to be a 50-year-old guy, a 40-year-old guy. You could be in your 20s or 30s and be feeling like crap too. A lot of guys suffering from low testosterone, and Montgomery Men's Health can help you figure that out. Call them up today, 440-3663. That's 440-3663, or visit MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com to book that appointment. Now, moving on to Senator Kennedy. Kennedy, I believe, is having a back and forth with the Energy Secretary, Chris Wright. Let's check out what he's laying down. Always entertaining watching Senator Kennedy.
The 76-day period you're talking about, that's the period between the time that President Trump was elected and President Biden left office. Is that right?
That is correct.
And during that short period of time, 76 days, how much taxpayer money went out the door of the Department of Energy?
From the Loan Program Office in loans and commitments, $93 billion.
Whoa.
Well over twice as much as in the previous 15 years.
So how do you vet and do due diligence on a loan in 76 days? One loan, much less $93 billion. How do you do it?
I think it's probably pretty clear it wasn't done in many cases. As I mentioned, I'm told I'm holding back clearly in place stuff. There is lots of funds that have gone out the door and commitments that were made from businesses that provided no business plan, no numbers about their own financial solvency or how this project.
So you're telling me that the Department of Energy, in the 76-day period before their boss was going to leave office, gave or loaned money to entities that had no business plan?
Correct.
No financials?
Correct. A number of those were were before the 76-day period as well. I've come in with great concern about how this institution, this great American institution, has been run and how American taxpayer money has been handled. I'm sorry everyone's upset that we're taking some time to do it, but what we've seen, and what the record shows,
I'm not
just
upset. Could it be that a lot of people say you haven't returned your calls? Could it be that you and your colleagues have returned the calls, but the people calling just didn't like the answer? Could that be a possibility?
I'm not aware of that. You know, I give my cell phone number to any senator that
I know
wants
you
it,
do.
and I return my calls.
I mean, has your department gone dark? Somebody said your department's gone dark. Is it dark over there?
It doesn't look dark behind me.
I don't see any of you sitting on your hands. Somebody made that charge. I see everybody's hands. Let me ask you something else, Mr. Secretary. Does anybody ever come to the Department of Energy to get some of this free money and lie to you?
I have not experienced that, but I think it's a reasonable assumption that that has happened.
Does anybody ever come to you? Is it conceivable that some of these folks that heard about this free money came to you with a half-baked idea?
I think it's very conceivable. In fact, I've seen such plans that were half-baked would be charitable.
That didn't have a business plan, right?
Correct. A promise to develop one, to find a location.
Just give me the money and I'll develop the plan later.
Obviously, as he classically does, Kennedy is belaboring the point to effect. But this is clearly just a pay off your friend scheme. Get rich on the way out the door.
Get the money out. Get it out before Trump comes in and turns off the spigot.
There you go.
I mean, we heard the state officials here behind closed doors pretty much say some of the same things, like, oh, we have to spend this money before the feds turn it off.
Yeah. Well, and you got to wonder, Pamela joining us now.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm good. I'm just wondering, like, what could you do with like $1 billion? Hopefully it's a lot more fun than I'll come up with a business plan for green energy.
I'd disappear.
You disappear.
I'd come up
I'd
with
give a lot of it away and disappear.
And you would, they're already doing the fake butter thing. Bill Gates fake gas-based butter.
Yeah.
It's gross.
Could
We
use
had,
another 2-3 bill behind it.
I know.
Margarine already.
Yeah, I don't like that stuff
No,
either.
that's disgusting.
It's gross.
Let's melt down plastic and put it on our toast.
Yeah. I always cite an old H.L. Mencken essay where he's like, all these philanthropists, your Rockefellers, your Carnegies, they always are boring. They build schools, they build hospitals, they build charitable foundations. Why don't they do something interesting? Keep in mind, this was written in the 1920s and import a bunch of Muslims to Georgia.
Oh.
Well, it seems like some people have gotten creative
yeah.
And we'll see how that works out. But yeah, I would hope that with $1 billion, you do more than just pal around and just pad pockets for political reasons. You actually have some fun with that $1 billion.
I'm pretty certain the three of us, we could stumble around and find some cure or discover something with that much money.
Yeah.
We don't have to have a business plan. I mean, all we have to do is get in line, apparently.
Yeah.
Have a D beside our name.
I might buy some land, build some big thing on it. Like,
something.
Just something.
Can I help you work on it?
Underground.
And above ground.
Okay. But I'm thinking like a big old monument. Like a big old, like something obnoxious, but I get all the permitting rights. I pay off the right people. I grease the skids correctly.
Can we do some sort of a
Maybe an
park?
homage to what's been happening in the WNBA of recent.
Let's do a park. Let's do a park.
A park,
Yeah.
yeah.
Large land area. We'll take some sort of a tax write-off and we'll donate it to someone else, and we'll improve our bottom line and turn around and package it to investors.
It's just such a scam. That in the last few days, $73 billion just thrown out the door. Absolutely. 93.
93. Oof.
Absolutely.
How much do you
crazy.
think was denied?
None. I think this was like, get it out.
Yeah.
Get it out. Get it out. Get it out the door. Get it in people's hands.
The bad man's
Make
coming.
them go through the process of clawing it back because we got to get this through. A lot of our plans we had for a while. Well,
Good
it's come to an end. We got to hit a last break here. What was that meme you shared with me earlier that there have been more dildos thrown on the court of a WNBA game than illegals across the southern border?
Camel?
Huh?
Huh?
I would call that winning. We'll be right back.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, But whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
WAKA Action 8 News has brought you the River Region's first 9 p.m. news since 2007. Now you can watch Action 8 News at 9 on the Montgomery CW. Want to know where to find it? Go to Channel 22 with your antenna, DirecTV or Dish Network, Channel 14 on Charter Spectrum, Channel 7 on C Spire, and Channel 19 on WOW. Get your Weather Authority forecast, lace up sports coverage, and your local news. It makes a difference where you get your 9 p.m. news. Watch Action 8 News at 9 on the Montgomery CW.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
News and talk without the static. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. I'm your host, Joey Clark. Byron's having a scoot later, man. Pamela here early before happy hour. Y'all have any big plans for happy hour?
Master Thespian will be here. I'm sure it'll be fun.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Let's go to Ray Bowles from Prattville Carpet. Hey, Ray, how you doing?
You know, you got me thinking about happy hour.
Mhm.
Every hour between the hours of 7 and 5:30 are happy hours at Prattville Carpet.
Nice. I like that vibe.
We're all happy. We're getting along great. Business is good, and life is good. I've not had a crappy day like yesterday. The dog had to sleep outside, and Jay literally had the nerve. My son-in-law had the nerve to call me last night at 10 o'clock. He said, "I'm worried about my dog sleeping outside."
What?
Why is it
I
a
hung
tiny
up on
dog?
him. No, he had a diarrhea all over Emma's car yesterday, and I had to go to Georgia and pick it up and bring it back.
Yeah, that's an outside dog.
It's an outside dog. The dog's not coming in for the whole week. He's lucky I'm feeding it.
Yeah, I was about to say, did you figure out the source of the diarrhea?
No. I told Emma might think she got into something at her house. I said, "You think might?" I mean, this dog. Nobody's even called me.
Wait, you
Take
sure
dog.
the dog didn't get fed some Arby's off the Eastern Boulevard? Because that's been having that effect on me. What's happened to that place?
That's awful. Arby's.
Well, that's why you don't eat Arby's.
Right.
Yeah, I know. I went back into kid mode thinking, oh, it's good. And like, no, every time it's a mistake.
You have an adult digestive system now.
Yeah.
Can't
Luckily,
handle that.
I wasn't in some car, with some strange man moving me around.
Yep. So, hey, if y'all need a floor, call us, 285-8117. Showers, bathrooms, kitchens, whatever it may be, give us a call, 285-8117. We'll come out and give you that free measurement.
When you call them at 285-8117, be sure to tell them you heard Ray on the radio with that Joey fella.
Guys, have a great day.
Appreciate it.
Too.
No, seriously, I'm done with Arby's.
That's awful.
Used to be a childhood favorite.
I've
Now
only-
it just, oh.
I have only been to Arby's once in my life, I think, when I was 19
Yeah.
in Missouri.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm all set. It's just not for me.
I usually get the chicken bacon Swiss, and I'm like, well, maybe that was I'll get a roast beef.
Try something else.
Yeah, and no, same effect. Oh well. Let's go to Sam. Hey Sam, how are you?
I'm unhappy, Joey. I'm standing here in the grocery store and I'm looking at sugar-free candy, and it just it's something you're supposed to do, but I can't do it. I'm not going to reach over there. I don't even want to touch the bag.
You know
hey,
what
brother.
you got to get instead?
Pardon,
Right.
ma'am?
You know what you got to get instead?
No, listen, I'm just odds and ends looking for junk.
No, what should I get?
Grapes.
Grapes.
Yeah.
Right. Hey, you know what? No joke. I was in the pig store over in Del Reyta, and there in Montgomery day for yesterday, and they had good grapes, and I got mom and myself some, and then it's amazing. Yeah, you better get the big bag because they were just so good. Everybody.
Yes.
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
They're poppable. They're sweet.
That's it, and good for you.
Yep.
Keeps everything moving, and I'm one of them now. I take a few pills for heart, and I'm working on my blood sugar, and everything seems to dehydrate you. So it's certain fruits and whatnot, they it's good for you in the best of way. And what was on my mind, Joey, was talking about you and Pamela about spending some money, and there's something I keep seeing on the news that that needs some cash. It needs a whole lot more than just cash. The Obama Presidential Library is falling all to pieces. And I was thinking, so we're looking first. Where is oh, my vocabulary. Where are the people willing to donate some money to fix it? Yeah, they're having trouble finding them right now.
Yeah, it's like, how did the consultation go with the architects for that thing? Like,
oh man,
where the Obamas like, can you make it look like a robot's penis?
I've worked at a couple of little architects. I've worked in a couple of architectural houses. McKee and Associates, right in Montgomery. They well respected. The good Reverend Mr. McKee, the architect. It's amazing the talent and people. And whoever Obama approached with this, they went in there, and I figured they were just. It's a reflection of the arrogance and hardcore. Plus you can take it back to the communist mentality, but anything looks, it's just a big.
Yeah, the brutalist just slab of crap up there on the skyline.
Yeah, and the whole history of the thing. They took the good Chicago Park property. They just took it and built this concrete monstrosity. Everyone stole from it. They used cheap concrete, and the thing's falling in. But that's a long way for a bad joke, isn't it?
What a mess. Appreciate it, Sam.
Hey, God bless y'all. All right, talk to you later.
God bless you. Well, I'm done. The time's up. So y'all enjoy yourselves on happy hour.
We will.
Master Thespian, along with, of course, Pamela here, and the Master of Ceremonies, Greg Budell, the man himself. Y'all stay tuned.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusada, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. The Labor Department reports consumer prices rose 2.7% in July from a year earlier. The same